Welcome to the Porter's Tailgate Show.
It's about that time.
Go Big Red! Go Big Red! Go Big Red! Go Big Red!
If you're willing to accept the responsibility that you have to protect this team and this school and this town, and make no mistake about it, gentlemen, we are in the business of protecting this town.
I shut them down! Shut them down! Shut them down! Shut them down!
Coming up, you'll hear from RHS head coach Mark Lenhart, our athlete spotlight, and your Wolverine weekend report.
Let's get rocking!
Wolverine football is just a half an hour away. Here are Wolverine analyst Scott Fuller and the voice of the Wolverines, Jared Anderson.
And a very good Friday evening to you. Welcome to Wolverine Field, where we are set for week one of the high school football season. The Riverton Wolverines hosting the second-rated team in 3A football, the Cody Bronx. I'm Jared Anderson, Jason Peterson, our camera operator, and we welcome analyst Scott Fuller to the, I want to say broadcast booth, but we are outside, Scott, the broadcast tent, I guess, on an overcast night in Riverton. And I don't think this is any secret, but Riverton's got their work cut out for them with a very good Cody squad in town tonight.
Yeah, I think that becomes apparent as soon as the schedule for this season came out, Jared. You saw that second-ranked Cody team as week number one, technically with 0 week, the Wolverines playing Powell right here a week ago on Friday. We talked a lot during that broadcast about some of the positives, I think, on both sides of the ball that Riverton could take away into this game, but it's not going to be a secret to anybody that the Wolverines have their work cut out for them today, as you say. You and I were talking earlier this week, though, if you're going to put this game anywhere, I don't mind it being week one. If you want to test on both sides of the ball, this is a fast offense. This is a big defense. All kinds of experienced upperclassmen, all kinds of offensive threats that we saw on our County 10 broadcast when Cody played Lander last week. So this is everything you want for the Riverton Wolverines, and right here for a home game. It's going to be a tough test to say the least, but I think you come in with some kind of a plan. You go out and try to execute it and see what happens. Just try to improve over last week.
Couple of injuries, unfortunately, to report from the last week here for Riverton fans, and one of those includes the starting quarterback, Derek DeVries, will not get the start, will not dress tonight. You'll remember last week in that Powell game, first play from scrimmage, he rolled an ankle. Just didn't look right throughout the rest of the game. He did have a gutty performance and put together a really good performance. Kind of the indication I got, and you're going to hear from Coach Lenhart in a second, who addresses the injury a little bit. It's out of an abundance of caution today. They expect him to be back in the lineup very soon, probably, not to speculate on an injury, but probably next week, but they want to give him a little bit more time to rest. So insert Blake Gattenbein, and Blake came on as a sophomore and had some really good moments last week.
Yeah, we saw a lot from Blake, I thought. There were a couple of moments where he looked more like a sophomore, and there were a couple of moments at the quarterback position where I thought he looked like an upperclassman. He made a couple of great reads on a couple of plays. It was very impressive, as we noted last week, the Blake next man up mentality. But oftentimes at the quarterback position, how many reps is the backup going to get during the course of especially the first couple of weeks of practice? Blake more or less didn't miss a beat when it came to the schemes, and again made a couple of great reads. So he's gonna have to come in and pick up right where he left off in a lot of ways offensively. Jared, I thought as sophomore backup quarterbacks go, we saw a lot from Blake last week.
Last year, these two teams met almost a year ago. It was 364 days ago. Cody would knock off Riverton in Cody for week one. That score, Riverton fans want to forget, was 49-0. It was 35-0 at half. Last week in 0 week action, Cody knocked off Lander in relatively easy fashion, 56-2. Powell beat Riverton 42-24 last week. This will be the 78th meeting between the Bronx and the Wolverines. Cody holds the advantage at 40-31-2. Riverton has lost to Cody the last 8 times out. I have to go back to 2012 to find the last time Riverton won. Coming up on the Porter's Tailgate Show, we visit with the voice of the Cody Bronx, Chance Bond. We'll have a brief conversation with Coach Lenhart, and John Gabrielson has a few keys to the game to watch for coming up here a little later on in the pregame show. Thanks to Porter's Supply Company in Riverton making the pregame show possible. We're back with the voice of the Bronx, Chance Bond, right after this time out on 105.1 Jack FM and County10.com.
Mountain View Supply, your local experts in fire and water. We got everything you need for new installs to accessories, and don't forget our great selection of stoves, grills, and spas. We've been serving Wyoming for over 40 years, so you know you can trust us for quality products and expert service. Visit portersmvs.com or stop by our Riverton or Casper locations today. Porter's Mountain View Supply, located on 750 East Sunset Drive in Riverton.
The Tyler Watson State Farm Agency is a proud supporter of Riverton High School Wolverine athletics. We understand the importance of community, and we're excited to be a part of it. As your neighbor, we're here to help you with all your insurance needs. We offer auto, homeowners, renters, business, and life insurance. So stop in and say hi, or give us a call today. The Tyler Watson State Farm Agency will be here for you.
We return you to the Porter's Tailgate Show. 105.1 Jack FM for audio coverage. You are also enjoying the sights and sounds, hopefully, of Wolverine Field here before kickoff, courtesy of County10.com. And if you want to listen, maybe you're listening on the radio right now, you can check out County 10 on YouTube or County 10's Facebook stream. We'll be here for you with streaming high-definition video all season long. Jared Anderson with you. Want to thank Porter's Mountain View Supply for making our pregame tailgate show possible. They are your one-stop shop for grills, spas, stoves, pellets, and more. Porter's is a proud supporter of Fremont County athletes. Amazing customer service every year. About this time, not to stress the fact that it's going to be winter soon, but every year we get our pellet stove serviced, and they do a top-notch job with that, thanks to Porter's Supply Company in Riverton. All right, so on the Porter's Tailgate Show, we like to go across the broadcast booth, and because it's radio, we connect via cell phone across the way with the opposition. The opposing broadcaster tonight to tell us a little bit more about the Cody Bronx is the brand new voice of the Cody Bronx, but a familiar one from across the state. Chance Bond is with us this evening. Chance, thanks for taking a minute. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing that well, Jared. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. So most people know you, I think, from being the voice of the Whirland Warriors, which you have been for quite a few years, but you've recently made the decision to go from Whirland to Cody. What was the process in that move?
Well, I am from Cody. I grew up there, so I do have a soft spot for that. The position came available and was asked to go. I did have a great time in Orland, though. They were very, very nice to me, and it was a lot of fun. I called 5 state championship games, and that's a big deal for sports broadcasters. So great time there.
Definitely. I was going to say, I think we're all envious of you because you get all that Whirland success, and then you go to another program with a lot of success in Cody. It seems like it's really fun over the last few years to be a Cody sports fan. They've been just across the board doing really well.
Yeah, and that was another big reason as well, is to, you always like to be around programs that do well. So I'm looking forward to it.
So we watched 0 week. We don't know exactly what to expect out of Lander this year, but either way, Cody sure looked really good, like they are in mid-season form already. What were your takeaways from the Bronx after 0 week?
Well, there was talking to Coach McFadden in that there are already those young men. They're already in that proverbial pipe. That pipeline just continues to work and continues to run. You think that they lose some incredible talent in Luke Talich, a kid that ends up at Notre Dame. That's pretty hard to replace. But they had another kid in Maddox Ball that comes right back behind and throws 4 touchdowns total against Lander. So again, the system is just in place and sets young men up to be successful.
Offensively, it looked like, trying to watch some of the film, that it's about as fast as an offense as I've ever seen before. Is that what we can expect here in Week 1 as well?
I calling for Worland against Cody. The same thing is that there's a pace that's there that takes a little bit used to broadcasting. They actually will sprint to the football and wait for the referee to put it down, and then they'll run to the next play. They've already. It's almost like they have 3 and 4 plays ready in a row to go, and they just keep moving, and it's really hard to figure out where that ball's coming out of.
Yeah, our County 10 sports guy, Wyatt Barijka, said, don't look down, don't even try to keep stats while you can, because you're going to miss the next play. So that's going to be tough to see, I'm sure, for opponents all season long. How about defensively? What can we expect on defense from this Cody team, and maybe who are some of the names we should keep an ear or an eye out for?
Well, so that is also part of a system in that, and there were so many young men that were all over the place flying around the football, it was hard to keep your name on one. They replaced 10 starters on their defense. 10. So that is almost the entire defensive team. They held Lander to -4 yards rushing in the first half. -4.
Do kids... Sorry, Chance. Do kids in Cody just grow up wanting to play football? Where's all this depth come from?
Well, so I was asking the same question. Kind of like I want to learn the program of how this works. Talking to Coach McFadden, they actually have a letter of commitment that they make when they're freshmen, that they are going to follow certain rules that the team subscribes and follow into those footsteps. So they're already, again, and some of them are just service to the community. It's not just football. It's building young men that are committed to something greater than themselves. It is an incredible feat that they pull off.
That's fantastic. 3A overall kind of looks like it's the Cody and Star Valley front-runner show. Do you think there's any other team in 3A, and I know it's hard since we haven't really seen much out of anybody, but who can compete with those two teams?
I think Powell looks really good. They're experienced now. They've actually been starting since their sophomore year. They're starting to get now in the junior and their senior years. So they've got some experience that I think is really going to start showing itself. You saw him last week. I thought Jet Swan is going to be a great quarterback for them. I expect Powell to be pretty darn good.
The voice of the Cody Bronx from KODI, Cody, Chance Bond, is with us on the Porter's Tailgate Show as we count you down to kick off with the Riverton Wolverines hosting Cody this evening. What do you hear about Luke Talich, Chance? Did he make the trip to play Navy this weekend, and is he seeing time at all at Notre Dame?
He actually traveled to Ireland to play Navy. He was on the traveling squad. He dresses out. He didn't play, but he is on the traveling squad that dressed out. That's pretty darn close for a freshman, especially a young man from Cody, Wyoming.
Yeah, that's really a cool story, and just the experience of going to Ireland for your first college football game is cool too.
When dressing out, again, dressing out even, that's also a privilege. Well, and put that gold dome on? How cool is that?
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm sure this is a dumb question because it seems like the state championship has become a theme for Cody, but is that the expectation this year in the community? Do people think this team can get back and win the championship game this season?
I believe that's every year in Cody. Their expectation is to win a state title. They prepare for that. Their practices are just crisp. They're clean. They're right. The timing of it. I don't know if I've seen a coach that times practice better than McFadden. I mean, within drills, keeping themselves. I'll talk to him for a little bit, and he'll say, "Excuse me, Chance." He'll blow his whistle, and they'll rotate around. It's just it's even their practice is fine tuned.
has there become kind of an unofficial rivalry with Cody and Star Valley just because they've been so good? Is that something that's developing?
It is, and it's the same thing is that they play two different styles. Star Valley's high-powered, likes to throw the football around. 4,000 yards, over 4,000 yards last year and passing. I think that they're going to continue. They're replacing some key components as well in Star Valley, but I don't see their offense changing a bunch from where they were at now.
All right, Chance, I'm going to wrap it up because I know you've got to go back on the air here soon, but appreciate you taking a few moments to join us on the Porter's Tailgate Show. Safe travels home tonight, and best of luck to you and the Cody Bronx going forward.
No problem, Jared. Thanks for having me on.
The voice of the Cody Bronx, Chance Bond, taking a few moments to join us here before kickoff on the Porter's Tailgate Show. You'll hear from both head coaches coming up, Matt McFadden from the Bronx and Mark Lenhart from the Wolverines. Also, John Gabrielson will give us some series history and a few things to keep an eye out for tonight on the broadcast. This is the Porter's Tailgate Show. You're listening to the Wolverines on 105.1 Jack FM and watching the Wolverines on County10.com.
Your home improvement project's a breeze with Sutherland's, your home improvement experts. Always the right products at the right price. For every project, every day. You can shop and pay online at Sutherlands.com, and we'll get it ready for easy in-store pickup. With the tools and the know-how, you can count on Sutherland's for any job. With over 30,000 items in stock, make your first stop at Sutherland's Home Improvement in Casper and Riverton.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? Because in real life, you don't get a second chance.
If you're looking for an upgrade to your vehicle,
Porter's Tailgate Show continues on 105.1 Jack FM and video coverage on County10.com. We're live on County 10's Facebook and County 10's YouTube channel, which, by the way, if you're watching along with us, feel free to leave us a comment. It was cool to see some of the comments from last week and didn't really have a chance to interact, but we'll be checking that from time to time throughout the game, so let us know where you're tuned in from. Would love to shout out as many places as we can here as we are about 11 minutes away from kickoff on an overcast evening at Wolverine Field in Riverton. Scattered showers are projected. I was just looking at the radar. Looks like we could see some rain in the first half. And I'm no meteorologist, but it looks like most of those chances are going to dissipate here in the second half. Got the Wolverines coming back out onto the field to warm up. The Cody Bronx join them as well from their respective locker rooms. Moments ago, I had the opportunity to head down to the field and chat with new Wolverines head coach Mark Lenhart. Here's how that conversation would go. It is the Porter's Tailgate Show. We're here with Coach Lenhart as we count you down to kickoff. Coach, first of all, we spoke last after an exciting Powell game come up a little bit short. How was the week of practice?
It was good. I think that, Tuesday we maybe didn't have our best practice, but I thought Wednesday and Thursday our guys were really locked in and did a nice job. I mean, we've had to make some adjustments on the fly. Derek's not going to start tonight. Zarek Prosser's not going to start tonight. We've had a couple injuries, and so it's early in the season, and I think if it was a little later on in conference play, we'd probably risk it and play him. But right now, we just want to try and make sure we can keep him as healthy as we can moving forward.
Blake Gatton, my next man up. He looked really good last week, I thought, when he had to come in.
Yeah, no, Blake's ready to go, and he's gotten a ton of reps. And this is good for Blake, with us being young in spots, getting him some reps and getting him some time against a great opponent like Cody will be huge for us. So
definitely. Cody's a tough team. They're fast. How do you approach a team like that?
Well, I think the biggest thing is like we need to find a way to on defense to try and get off the field early, because when they get their tempo rolling, it seems like every time they get a first down, they almost always score because they run on a play every 12 seconds. And so they're good. They can run, they can throw, they're fast up front. We changed our defensive plan a little bit this week to try and put as much speed on the field as we can. play a little bit of an odd front at times and give ourselves the best chance we can to stay up with them.
Last question. It's a big night here in Riverton. I know you haven't coached here before, but Ron Porter being recognized at halftime, expecting kind of an emotional night, and should be a great turnout with folks coming out to support.
Yeah, no, I know Coach Porter very well, all the way from the time when my wife was working here and we were dating, and he was one of the first people who was really good to me here, and we're friends. And I love Ronnie, and I miss him. And so we've talked with our players about playing all out with effort tonight to honor Coach Porter for all that he did for this community, and hopefully we come out and just play hard for 48 minutes.
I love it. Coach, good luck.
Thank you so much.
The national anthem, Star Spangled Banner, performed by the Riverton High School Choir, and Mr. Gillette conducting there as we're just about 7 minutes away from kickoff here. The Porter's Tailgate Show continues. Riverton Wolverines, Cody Bronx in action, and Jared Anderson, Scott Fuller here with you along at county10.com. That's where you can find the video, audio coverage on 105.1 Jack FM. Mentioned this is the 78th meeting between these two teams. Cody leads the all-time series, 40-31-2. The series goes all the way back to 1929. The last 8 wins are from the Cody Bronx. Got to go back to 2012 to find the last time Riverton has knocked off Cody. And we talk about depth. Cody's got the most kids ever out for football, freshmen through seniors, with 110 kids in a town that has a smaller population than Riverton, or thereabouts. Very similar, at least. Cody's growing all the time, but still a relatively small population for 110 kids is quite the feat.
I thought it was a good question you asked, Jared, to your counterpart for Cody, broadcasting the game tonight for those Cody Bronx fans, in that what's in the water up there? What exactly is what is with the football passion? But really, that's what Coach Leonard came in to do here in Riverton as well, and it starts from the Pee Wee level all the way up through whatever second, fifth graders are playing these days, and then up to middle school and starting to conform to the varsity program a little bit, so that some of the schemes and the terminology is not surprising when the freshmen make the jump to 9th grade. And it's not easy. It's definitely an impressive accomplishment for any program to put that together. It's a lot easier said than done. But once you get that machine going, kind of like the Cody offense we might be seeing tonight, once you get that machine going, it really produces some special classes and some special athletes and a lot of accomplishments for them.
Outside of football, the Cody community has won a lot of championships. Their girls basketball team was unbelievable last year, led by Gatorade Player of the Year Molly Hayes. They went undefeated all season, won their first ever state championship. They're indoor track champions, they're girls cross country state champions, and up until this this year. They were 3-time defending baseball champions at the Legion baseball program. They were runner-up this year, losing to Powell, but still a lot of athletes in the Cody community. This is the Porter's Tailgate Show every week here on Jack FM and County10.com. Our good friend, the former voice, longtime voice of the Wolverines, John Gabrielson, provides us with a unique look at the upcoming game. So let's send you to John Gabrielson.
Number 57.
It's the 78th installment of Cody versus Riverton. Cody leads 40-31 with 2 ties. The Bronx, however, have not allowed the Wolverines to score but 10 points in their last 2 games, and in fact, Cody has won the last 8 in a row. Riverton's last win, 2012. It was at Cody even, at Spike Vanoy Field. RHS would win 26-7. That was when Jeremy McCormick and his team went 7-3, made the playoffs, only then to be beaten at home by a touchdown by the same Bronx in the first round of the playoffs later that year. That Cody upset is what kind of sparked their modern-day streak of 8 wins for Cody. Notable Wolverine names that were chosen all-state the last time Riverton beat Cody: T.J. Gailey, Xavier Webb, Dawson Steeds, Lane Savage, and Cade Salisbury. 2 very good coaches will square off tonight in Week 1. Now, doing research on WyomingFootball.com, I found only one instance of Mark Lenhart versus Matt McFadden, and it was a big one. It was in Lenhart's stay at Torrington in 2017. McFadden's Bronx would shut out Lenhart's Trailblazers for the 3A title in Laramie, 20-0. Lenhart and Torrington would make the finals a year later, only to fall to Star Valley. It was after that when Lenhart went to Rock Springs and take the Tigers to the 4A runner-up position in 2021. That was after knocking on War Memorial's door the previous 2 seasons. So entered tonight, 2 teams with pretty good coaches on different trajectories. Are the Wolverines on the way up? Are the Bronx on the way down after being in the state championship the last 3 years and falling to Star Valley last year? One thing for certain, they both have a chance to set the tone for the rest of the season tonight. For the Porter's Pregame Show on the County 10 Sports Network, I'm John Gabrielson.
Our thanks to John Gabrielson. We got to get used to earlier kickoffs, apparently, because we are ready to go. Jarrett Chrysler has it teed up for the Cody Bronx. Riverton won the toss, said they wanted the ball. They will receive. Chrysler has a low kick that will hit the ground, and it's McIntosh and Sheets back there. I believe that's McIntosh who scooped up the ball off of the turf, and he will finally be gathered and dropped at about his own 22-23 yard line.
Wolverines won the coin toss about 15 minutes ago at the 50-yard line and elected to receive.
Again, Blake Gattenbein at the helm for Riverton. Derek DeVries injured last week. First play from scrimmage, and the sophomore came in, had some very productive moments last week. It gets his first career varsity start tonight. Tight bunch formation for the Wolverines. They've got Jordan May in the backfield. He'll take the first carry, and a positive gain of about 4 on the ground to start the ball game for Jordan May.
Jordan May had a quietly, I thought, really impressive first 0-week performance last week against Powell. He was certainly involved in the offense. But you got the feeling, with all the screen action that the Wolverines tried in that 0-week matchup against Powell, that Jordan May, there's a real carve-out for him in the offense in the run game. I know Coach Leonard told you after the game last week, Jared, that that's something that Riverton wants to do, is establish the run game.
This time it'll be Gattenbein out of the shotgun. He's got 3 receivers now to his right side. He'll flare it out to Ty Sheets, who tries to shake off a defender and can't do so. He'll pick up a minimal gain on second down, maybe 2 on the reception, which will set up the first Wolverine third down of the evening.
That play set up very nicely initially. Then you see that speed of that Cody Bronx defense closing all the way to the sideline for a minimal gain of 2 or 3. I think they gave him 3, bringing up a third down and a long 2.
I shorted Ty a yard, so I'll change that and give him 3 on the play. Third down and 2 for the Wolverines. We've played 90 seconds here from Riverton High School. 2 in the back as Gattenbein under center now. Fake the give. He's rolling to his right. Fire is intended for Saltzgaver, I believe, and it's incomplete. It hit the ground first. It was intended for Ty McIntosh, or Nick McIntosh, I should say, but it hit the ground before it could get to him. Low throw, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
Set that play up on 1st down with the same run to the left side, and you play fake it. That was just a little bit behind the intended receiver. Blake, sophomore quarterback.
And much like we saw with DeVries in 0 week, who also was the punter, Blake Gattenbein's also going to be the punter for this Wolverine team, and the punt will roll inside of the 30-yard line down at the 29. So Cody will take over for the first time from their own 29-yard line, and here comes Maddox Ball, their junior quarterback, and this very fast Cody offense.
Yeah, for those who haven't seen Cody this season yet, or certainly last season, as you've covered, Jerry, the Porter's pregame show, this is a fast offense, and I like what Coach Leonard had to say to you before the game. I do think you have to come in with some kind of defensive plan, knowing it's going to be very difficult. Quite simply, try to get off the field early, try to force some mistakes early in drives, maybe a couple of turnovers here and there. But once this machine from Cody gets rolling, it is difficult to keep up and difficult to stop.
Just a minute 48 of total time on the 3 and out from the Wolverines. Cody takes over with 10-12 to play on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard. Maddox Ball, the 6'4" junior quarterback, stands out of the shotgun. He'll check down to Grady McCartan. McCartan is hit as he crosses the 30-yard line and give the tackle to Dylan Jevney as McCartan picks up 5, and Cody on the ball, ready to go here for play number 2. The give is to McCartan this time. Grady passes the first down marker, picks up a couple of more, and he's got 7 on the ground. Grady McCartan is just a junior. It's kind of scary being a 3A football fan looking at this Cody roster. They've got mainly juniors. Shotgun formation again, 3 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. McCartan is in the backfield, and the pitch to the right side goes to McCartan. He slips out of 1 tackle, flag flies in, spins, will pick up 2 or 3 on the play. Pretty well strung out by the Wolverine defenders, but we'll check the flag.
Yeah, good pursuit so far by Riverton's, especially the flat secondary, those corners out there having to step up and make plays on large and talented athletes for the Cody Bronx. Have not seen an indication yet on the penalty. It looks like
saw Wolverine clapping his hands, but never can tell.
Blocking the back on Cody. Riverton will accept it.
Block in the back. Public address announcer here at Wolverine Field tells you we had some light raindrops to start this game. There's definitely a steady breeze, overcast conditions. Looks like scattered showers for the first half, and then we clear out of any of the weather. Man in motion as the snap comes, and the handoff again is to McCartan, who actually that's not McCartan. That's Luke Moulton, I beg your pardon, and Luke picks up a positive gain on 2nd down. Maddox Ball in the shotgun again. If we get a chance to catch our breath, we'll tell you about Luke Talich. Ball overthrowing his intended receiver. Wanted a long pass into Wolverine territory. Was intended for Jace Jarrett, but falls incomplete. Luke Talich was the Cody quarterback we talked about a lot last year. Walked on to Notre Dame after receiving a lot of scholarships, and you heard Chance Bond, the voice of the Cody Bronx from KODI, tell us he suited in game number 1 for Notre Dame. Wolverines force a 3rd and 13 try here from the Bronx.
It's taken a lot longer than average to get this play in for Cody.
Trips to the left side. 1 receiver to the right. Ball out of the shotgun. Flag flies as soon as the play starts. Now Ball's just going to tuck it and try to go. Loses his footing. Good job by the Wolverine defenders, and a loss of 2 in the backfield. We'll check the penalty.
You cross your fingers on the penalty because it brings up a 4th down and 13 or so. It looks like from here.
Flag on the play.
Couldn't tell what the call might be from where the flag came in. The side judge. That's a legal procedure. I think they're indicating to Coach Leonard, giving him the option. And they're going to, having flipped the down marker back to 3rd down, looks like the penalty will be accepted. Nope.
Riverton will.
We got to flip it back to 4th over there on the far sidelines. It will be 4th down and 13. You talk about forcing mistakes early. Good pursuit there on that series. And Riverton benefiting from a couple of penalties. Pending an actual punt here. Looks like we'll get the ball back.
Maddox Ball, the punter, so quarterbacks on both sides. The punters as well. Ty Sheets is back to receive. Waves fair catch at his own 18. And the Wolverines have forced the Cody Broncs to punt on their first possession. They'll take it back over at their own 18.
Great job by the Riverton defense. First defensive series against this very vaunted and high-powered Cody Broncs offensive attack, which by the end of the series, by that 3rd down play, they seemed very disjointed. Cody did. But you're only going to get so many of those throughout the game, Jared. So offensively, you got to put some first downs together, get a couple of first downs to start with, see if maybe you can find a big play in here. Can't have too many 3-and-outs and stay in the game here today.
Gattenbein again under center, the sophomore quarterback. We'll give it to Jordan May, that big, powerful running back who's met right at the line of scrimmage. Picks up 1 on first down for his 2nd carry of the ball game.
I loved Coach Leonard's comment to you after the game during the post-game show last week, Jared, talking about toughness, talking about lifting weights year-round, not just during football season, and talking about what it's going to take to actually establish a run game. I love that philosophy of an offense to establish, to throw off of the run. And they've got the guys to do it against a lot of teams that they're going to play this year, but basically the blunt message from the brand new head coach was our guys have to toughen up a little bit.
Blake under center again, 2 receivers to his right, and a whistle before the play starts. Coach Lenhart wants a timeout. With 7:46 remaining in the first quarter, we're scoreless here in the first quarter. I want to take a moment here while we have one to mention that this is Hall of Fame night at Riverton High School, and I think most of the community at this point in Riverton knows it is basically Ron Porter night, the late Riverton educator and longtime coach. Community ambassador who lost his battle with cancer in 2020 will be recognized at halftime. His wife was in on the coin flip, was kind of the honorary coin flipper, if that makes sense, and was presented with the game coin. Riverton won the toss and elected to receive, so it was fun to see the Porter family recognized. And they chose the Cody game because Ron has a lot of ties to this Cody community. We'll talk a lot about Cody running back Grady McCartan, but Grady is actually the grandson of Ron and Toy Porter. And in fact, Ron has a couple of grandkids playing in this ball game we'll tell you about here, but we're back to action, and Gattenbein wants to throw. Deep pass intended for McIntosh, falls incomplete. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 9 on the incompletion.
It's a good ball by the sophomore quarterback and almost a completion, taking a shot out of the timeout. That was a great job by the receiver, getting up, trying to high point the ball right in between the safety and the corner for Cody. I like the call. It's worth taking a shot, especially on 2nd down, especially out of a timeout.
3rd down and 9 coming up for the Riverton offense. They did go 3-and-out their first time. Love to see them find their way to the sticks here. McIntosh goes in motion. Gattenbein well protected, looking to throw, and his pass is going to be broken up, incomplete. Great job by the Cody defender. See if I can get a name here. I believe that's Owen Monfeld. On the actually they're saying Jerem Berdal with the pass deflection, and the Wolverines are going to punt here with 7:34 to play first quarter. Gattenbein will put the toe to it. A low wobbling kick hits at the 50-yard line, is gathered in by Ball in his own territory, and he'll race it into Wolverine field to about the 34-yard line where he's finally brought down. So excellent starting field position for Cody.
Yeah, this Bronx offense does not need any help when it comes to a short field.
And they're saying Gattenbein with the tackle, so the punter on the tackle, never a great sign. Mentioned Grady McCartan is the grandson of the late Ron Porter, who's being honored in this game. Also, Wolverine Paxton Yates is one of the Porter grandchildren. Here is McCartan right on cue, slips out of a tackle, and is finally driven to the turf by freshman Cameron Vincent, but not until he picked up a gain of 7 on first down. And Cody ready to go again here just like that.
It was a great open field tackle by Vincent, saving a lot of yards, possibly a score.
Ball out of the gun, give it right back to Grady McCartan, who barrels forward for a gain of 5. That's enough for a first down and a couple more.
You see how quickly Cody likes to get this offense in. I think Coach said it was about 12 seconds on average between snaps, which is just 90 miles an hour.
Luke Moulton in the backfield now. Ball wants to throw one-on-one, knocked away by Sheets. Little hand finding there in the end zone. Sheets had good coverage and they'll knock it out of there. The pass was intended for Chase Hatch, but Nick McIntosh was there the whole way.
McIntosh doing a nice job of getting his head around at the very last minute and seeing the ball, locating it, making a play on the ball.
Maddox Ball in the shotgun. Cody utilizes that H-back position. H-back is lined up to the left side. That's Moss. Send Hatch in motion, and here's the pitch to Hatch, who has it off the left side. Hatch has a step. Actually, take that back. That's A.J. Boustert, who finds his way to the end zone. A.J. Boustert from 21 yards out. And the Cody Bronx have found the end zone first.
Great balance on this run to the outside. And once he gets beyond that edge, it's just a matter of speed and athleticism to find the end zone. Can't give Cody too many of those short fields and expect to stay close for too long.
For the extra point.
Connor Moss is the extra point kicker. Through the uprights, and with 6:38 remaining in the first quarter, it's the Cody Bronx 7, the Riverton Wolverines nothing. That is courtesy of the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard. And again, you give Cody the football on the Riverton 34, make it a short field, and a nice 21-yard run to the left side was A.J. Boustert. That came in motion, took the little pitch, and ran it into the end zone for the first points of the night.
33-yard drive by the Bronx. Took only a minute 15 off the clock. Saw some of that, getting back to the punt there, that Cody exploited for great field position on that scoring drive. We saw some of that punt cover issue last week with Powell as well. It was the only glaring special teams improvement, I'd say, from the Powell game. That is what enabled Bronx to get that great field position. It doesn't take them long to go 33 yards and score, as we just saw.
Cody has two different kickers. Their field goal / extra point kicker, you just saw, is Connor Moss. Their kickoff man is Jarrett Chrysler. Chrysler will hit this one. Ty Sheets will take it on a hop once again. Sheets crosses his own 20 and then is driven down quickly at about the 21-yard line. Outstanding pursuit from Cody's Ryan Decker.
Average field position, starting field position for Riverton, right about their own 23-yard line. This will be the deepest they've started in their own territory of the first 3 drives of this first quarter. And yet to see a Wolverine first down. hope to change that. When you're struggling like this, Jared, I like to give the advice coaching. Give me 2 first downs. Just 2. That's a win. Don't need you to score on this drive. Just show me 2 first downs. Good things tend to happen.
6:32 to play, first quarter action. Cody on top of Riverton 7-0, and Wolverine football from their own 22. The nose of the football right on the 22-yard line. Gattenbein takes it and will run to the left side off tackle, picks up a gain of 3, bringing up a 2nd and 7.
Blake doing a nice job to corral the snap that almost got away from him. Something else we saw last week against Powell in that 0-week game, some shotgun, especially center to quarterback exchanges. But that's a designed run and a timing play, so not only a good job to save a potential catastrophic turnover, but also to not miss a beat and be where he needed to be on the run scheme.
Bunch formation for the Wolverines again. I'll give it to Jordan May, who fights for 2 yards on the play. Give him 2, and 3rd down after back-to-back runs. We'll bring up a 3rd and 5, maybe a 3rd and 6.
Wolverine offense is sluggish, obviously, here so far early in this game against Cody. Very upperclassmen, very athletic, big defense. But when it's going like this, you can't start taking shots. The Wolverines have tried that a couple of times, nearly worked. You have to try to go back to the run game and establish that. Get a couple of first downs here and just play the time of possession game as much as you can.
3rd and 5, Wolverines in that tight formation. Fake the pitch, now give it to Sheets, who's got some room, and Ty Sheets is out ahead of the pack with a first down. Picks up 7 on the play, and a nicely designed run, well executed by the speedy Ty Sheets.
You see a fake the pitch to the back in the flat, and just a quick trap over the left guard. And that'll be the first Riverton first down of the game by my tally. And that's what you need. Get that first one. Get the second one. Suddenly you're in Cody territory. And you could start thinking differently about play calling a little bit.
Wolverines made things interesting last week with Powell in the 4th quarter, but had lost the starting field position battle immensely all last game. So nice to see that. The pitch out to Jordan May, and Jordan's going to have another first down as he gets right to about 10 yards. I take that back. He's got 9.5 before he stepped out of bounds. His body landed across the first down marker, so looked initially to me like he was going to pick up the first down, but a rush of 9 officially for Jordan, but a good first down play.
Thing about running the offense as the option rather, as a quarterback is if you do it right, you are going to get hit. And Blake got a nice little shot there, but also ran that little option scheme to the right side just perfectly. Hang on to the ball as long as you can, pitch it at just the right moment with a good pitch.
Loaded backfield for the Wolverines with 3 standing behind Gattenbein. Gattenbein will give it to May with a lot of blockers in front who fight for 2, but it's a Wolverine first down. Jordan May's 5th carry of the game for 18 yards. And the sticks move as the Wolverines, for the first time in the game, cross into Cody Bronx territory.
Just shy of the 50 there, Jared, a couple of yards short, but that is the 2nd first down. That's kind of what we were asking for when this drive started. Eat up as much clock as you can, flip the field as much as you can, and see if you can find yourself a hole in the defense, whether it's through a passing shot or maybe Jordan breaks free on the run. But get those couple of first downs, eat up some clock, and good things tend to happen.
Gattenbein, 3 in the backfield. Again, these tight offensive sets for the Wolverines. I think that's May in there in the scrum again. Not much doing on the rush there. It's actually Vincent who came in and carried the football.
Wolverines showed a lot of the screen game on film against Powell last week. And Coach Leonard didn't say it as much, but reading between the lines in your post-game conversation, I think that's a little bit of what he was worried about having shown too much of. We haven't seen any of that so far. I wouldn't be shocked if you see it here in the next couple of plays if they can find the right look. That's the kind of play that can break big. They haven't showed it yet.
2 receivers out to the right side. Now send Ty Sheets in motion, who lines up on the left end. Fake the handoff, does Gattenbein. Finds Sheets, who's met in the backfield, ultimately going to lose a yard on the reception.
This is a screen to the flat, trying to send all the action to the right side. and it was really well read, really well blown up by the front four of the Cody defense. I'm sure they spent a lot of time in film just talking about the variation. We saw all kinds of different screens from Riverton last week.
Not the third down you want for the Wolverines, as it's 3rd and long, about 9.5 to move the sticks again. 3 receivers out to the right side. Sheets in the slot. Gattenbein looking to throw, has a man. It's dropped, though, as a big collision that was intended for McIntosh.
Broken up by Beardall.
And there's Jerem Beardall again. Beardall, number 20 for the Bronx, up there from his safety spot, has forced 2 incompletions on big hits.
McIntosh is who I want to try to catch that ball. That's who I want to throw it to. But that's a difficult play to make when that perfectly timed contact comes in. Not a whole lot you can do to hang on to the ball, really.
4 minutes and 20 seconds of Wolverine time of possession there. 2 first downs. Feels like a small victory comparatively to the first 2 3-and-outs. Punt by Gattenbein lands and is downed at the 24-yard line, and that's where the Bronx will take over in their own territory. 2:03 to play first quarter on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard. It's Cody 7, Riverton nothing. Cody scored on a 21-yard run from A.J. Bouster. He received the football last time in Riverton territory at the 34, so much better job flipping the field position this time. We'll see what the Wolverine defense can do here late first quarter. Maddox ball out of the shotgun, looking to Hatch. Chase Hatch gathers it in and will pick up a gain of 3 on the play. Well read by the Wolverines, and minimal gain for Chase on the catch.
It's another good example there by the Riverton secondary. Those guys in the flat, those corners, having to come up and tackle big guys. Athletic open field ball carriers. And another great example.
Jackson Larson, another freshman, getting in on the action as Ball going to carry this to the 30-yard line. Pick up a gain of 4, and it's going to bring up 3rd and medium.
4-yard gain.
Maddox Ball back in the shotgun. Grady McCartan back there with him. Sends 2 receivers out to his left side now. Pitch it to the running back. I don't think that's McCartan back there with him. Wolverine defense strings it out to the sideline nicely, and he's tackled right near the sticks, but he's going to come up a yard shy.
Harris Aragon with a tackle. Gain of 3.
Gain of 3, and it's going to be 4th and 1. Cody is showing that they're going to go for it on their own 33, and now motion, and somebody jumped. Both teams pointing at one another. Wolverines come up clapping out of the pile.
Does this change the math at all for Cody? You mentioned they are very deep in their own territory. 4th and 1 becomes 4th and 6. And personnel change for Cody, they're going to at least come out and show that they're going to punt.
I think this deep into the field, that's probably the safe move. 4th and 6, considerably different than 4th and 1 for a Cody offense, but we'll see what happens here as Ball is back to punt. 30 seconds to play in the quarter. Ball is going to punt this one away. Gets off a nice punt. It ultimately hits at about the 25-yard line and dies right there, is down by his teammates. So good job by the Wolverine defense to force a quick punt, and with 23 seconds to play in the first quarter, the Wolverines take back over.
And both those drives where Cody has had to start relatively deep in their own territory, Riverton's defense has shown up. Benefit of penalties on both of those drives. Can't count on that every single drive defensively, but aside from that very short field 33-yard scoring drive on their last possession, previous possession of that last one from Cody, Riverton defense has done all you can ask against this Cody Bronx team here in the first quarter.
Riverton's 4th possession They gained 2 first downs last time, have just 2 for the game, had 3 and outs the first 2 times. Gattenbein going to keep it, and he is swarmed under by a pile of Cody Bronx right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss, a half a yard.
With the tackle, loss of 1.
We'll say officially a loss of 1, so Gattenbein has carried it twice now for 2 yards, and with that, we have reached the end of the first quarter. So after 1 on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard, it's the Cody Bronx 7, the Riverton Wolverines 0. Wolverine football when we come back for the second quarter after this timeout on 105.1 Jack FM and County10.com.
For an upgrade to your vehicle, Wyoming 4x4 is the place to go for all your upgrade needs. From lift kits to bumpers, grill guards to bed liners, we've got everything you need to take your ride to the next level. We use top brands for our bumpers like Fab 4s, Ranch Hand, and Road and more. So get your vehicle ready and stop at Wyoming 4x4 or give Dan a call at 307-857-3175.
Redden.
Back here to Wolverine Field. Getting a roster correction here as we start the second quarter of action. Again, Cody on top of Riverton 7-0. The only scoring we've seen so far was a 21-yard A.J. Boustert drive, or an A.J. Boustert run on a short possession touchdown for the Cody Bronx. We're ready to go here in quarter number 2. It's a 2nd and 11 for the Wolverines as the RHS marching band plays on. Flared out along the left side to Ty Sheets, who catches the pass and gathers it in for a gain of about 4, which will set up a 3rd down and 7 coming up here for the Wolverines.
I'm trying to get that first down of the drive here. Riverton on their last possession able to string together a nice drive, march down the field, got a couple of first downs.
Ty Sheets now with 3 receptions. Will correct something. I've got Cameron Vincent as number 12 in the roster. Was just given a correction that's actually Talon Toman.
Yep.
And Toman had a carry a moment ago and made a defensive stop, so get that on the air. Talon doing nice work. Gattenbein out of the shotgun on 3rd down. Looks for McIntosh along the sidelines. Does a great job hauling in the pass for a 1st down. Jerem Beardall was right there in his grill again, but McIntosh makes a nice reception.
McIntosh
13 yards
on the previous reception that he went up for, received some contact. Wasn't expecting it. This time he was. McIntosh selling out, high pointing the ball, going up to get it before the defender had a chance to adjust, taking a nice shot and giving his team a 1st down.
At the largest gain on a Wolverine play from scrimmage so far, 13 yards. Gattenbein to McIntosh. Gattenbein wants to throw again. That one squirts off the hands of his intended target, incomplete, and that just the 3rd incompletion of the game so far. I've got Gattenbein 4 of 7 for 18 yards unofficially, and 2nd and 10 coming up from the Wolverine 43 with 11:18 left to play second quarter.
Gattenbein just a sophomore, so you have to appreciate even on unsuccessful plays the little things. That's a hot read he has to make with a defender right in his lap. Didn't throw a bad ball and threw it to the right place. That's a difficult play, and more often than not, underclassmen will eat that and be sacked.
I do kind of like the change of pace on 1st down there to throw it with trips to the left this time. Pass is complete to Saltzgaver for a short gain. He gathers it in and takes it to the Wolverine 46. That'll be a completion of 3 yards.
It's just as good as a handoff. It stretches the field a little bit, forces Cody to think about both sides of the field. Gives up a pretty important 3rd down early in this game as Riverton trying to get that 2nd first down of the drive, break into Cody territory for the first time, I believe it would be, and see where it goes from there. Maybe put together a couple more and put up 7 points, but it starts with a third down conversion here.
Get my Saltzgaver sorted out. Branson Saltzgaver, the receiver there. Hunter Saltzgaver, the kicker, also on this team. And there's Braxton Saltzgaver. Gattenbein on third down. That pass was too far for his receiver, out of his grasp, and knocked away by a Cody defender.
And very fortunately not intercepted either. That was not one of Blake's better balls. Trying to thread that needle between the corner and the safety, and he led his receiver just a little bit too much. And on that far side of the field, with not a whole lot of red jerseys over there, that could have been a pick six.
Wolverines did pick up their third first down of the game. That high snap is fielded nicely by Gattenbein, who punts it away, gathered it in. That's Hatch back there to receive. Bounced off a one Wolverine defender. Stiff arm another. He's across the 40 now and finally knocked out of bounds at midfield. Ball is loose. And the Wolverines are on it. Nice return by Hatch, but a Wolverine knocked the football away, and it's going to be Riverton football at their own 45-yard line. And you talk about needing the ball to bounce your way against a team like Cody. That is a good step in the right direction for the Wolverines to make it interesting here.
We're going to need some good bounces of the ball. We're so far away, totally opposite side of the field from our broadcast position here. Couldn't exactly tell who forced the fumble or even who recovered it. I was worried there for a minute that the ball may have bounced out of bounds after it came out, but the official, the referee in the white hat there, right on top of it. And that is that's a potential momentum-changing turnover. Nice job by the punt cover team to force that.
Try to pick up who made the hit and who made the recovery as the game goes on. I thought binoculars for sure this time and forgot to bring those again here. That was a long ways away from us. First play, Gattenbein will hand it off, and Ty Sheets is met right near the line of scrimmage, driven backward after that, and loses one.
Not going to be able to throw against Cody if you don't force them to respect what's happening between the tackles. Accomplish that most usually, and I think the way that Coach Leonard wants to accomplish that through the run game, definitely wants to establish that more so in this game than against Powell. They can also get creative with the screen game. I've seen one, maybe two screen passes thrown by Riverton so far. They can't just go out there and start flinging the ball.
Gattenbein out of the shotgun. Three receivers now to the right side as Jordan May joins him. Throw it out. Received by Jevney. Dylan Jevney with a nice second down gain. Actually, that's Nick McIntosh. Beg your pardon. Nick McIntosh. Got to get used to him in the number 3. I've still got him down as number 11. But Nick McIntosh, the reception. And it'll be a positive pickup of about 7. That'll bring up a 3rd and 4.
It was all individual effort there by McIntosh, making 2 Cody Bronc defenders miss. And then even after the initial contact, got a couple extra yards on top of that.
Remember, balloons and stickers are down at the...
3rd down and 4. And feels like, I know still early in this game, and it's just 7-0, but feels like a big play coming up here as Gattenbein quick flare it out behind the line of scrimmage to Sheets, who's driven backwards and gonna lose 2 or 3. That's Nick McIntosh out there again, and McIntosh is driven backwards, loss of 2, bringing up a 4th and medium. And Scott, is this decision time at midfield?
Yep, I think they're going to come out and show punt. I think they thought about it for a minute. You just don't know how many opportunities you're going to get against the second-ranked team in 3A. And I think it was a thought there on the sideline for a minute, but at least they're going to show punt.
Again, a high snap is jumped for and received by Gattenbein. Punt bounces at the 30, takes one more bounce before going out of bounds at the 27, and that's where the Broncs will take over now with 7:43 to play in the second quarter. It's Cody football from their own 27, again 7-0. Cody on top of Riverton here. Jared Anderson and Scott Fuller, glad you're with us on 105.1 Jack FM and County10.com. Thanks to Perfect Power Electric in Landers, supporting our athletes on and off the field, and they are making this live stream possible. Perfect Power for all your electric needs at 332-7184.
Anytime Cody has had to start this deep in their own territory, it has not gone well for them. Credit to the Riverton defense.
Maddox Ball back out there for his Cody Bronx in the shotgun. Grady McCartan with him in the backfield. He'll pitch it to McCartan, who's got some blockers and fights his way forward for 2 yards. Ultimately, a good job of responding by the Wolverine defenders, and a couple of Wolverines in there on the stop.
Side-to-side job by the Riverton defense has been great. I thought that might be a touchdown.
Again, the give is to McCartan, who goes right up the middle, and he's got a lot of room, makes 2 men miss, and he's off to the races, to the 20, the 10, 5, touchdown. Grady McCartan from 70 yards. And that was basically right up the middle, it looked like. Found some room early, made a guy miss, and it was the end zone after that.
That's what it was here on the Gambles replay. Riverton has done a great job side to side. This is just off the left guard, maybe that left tackle side, but look to be inside the tackles. And once a fast running back like that gets a full head of steam, it's going to be difficult to bring down.
Moss for the extra point.
Connor Moss on for the point after touchdown that goes right through the middle of the uprights, and it's 14-0 Cody Bronx with 7:13 to play now in the second quarter. And Coach Lenhart mentioned not giving up big plays, and that is one that they'll wish they had back when they watch the film Monday morning.
Yeah, just breaks your spirit a little bit. You try not to let it, but the Wolverines really have done a really impressive job, especially on the field position. The one drive that Cody had on Riverton's 33, almost write that one off. There's not a whole lot you can do there. But when Riverton has forced Cody to start in their own territory, inside their own 30-yard line on all but one of their drives, they've done a great job in the flat. Corners coming up to make big plays on athletic ball carriers. That one is just a gash and a gouge and will not be fun to watch on Monday or Tuesday.
Have the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show brought to you by the Wyoming Department of Transportation coming up. And as part of that, we will be showing the Hall of Fame ceremony for the late Ron Porter, and we will try our very best to capture that audio for our listening audience as well on 105.1 Jack FM. But if you're listening on the radio, want to watch it, head over to County 10's YouTube channel. Just search for County 10 and you can find the live stream. Or if you've liked County 10 on Facebook, you can find us there as well. Jarrett Chrysler has it teed up for the Bronx, who now lead 14-0. Sheets and McIntosh back to receive for Riverton. There's the official's whistle, and Chrysler will boot it away. So far, Chrysler has tried to avoid it going to McIntosh, it seems like, but Nick will scoop it up, and he's met at the 25-yard line, and that's where the Wolverines will start with 7:06 to play in the half, and another opportunity for the sophomore Blake Gattenbein and his offense.
You mentioned the change of pace there on Tripp's look on a previous first down. We'll see what Riverton wants to come out here with. They have tended to run the ball mostly between the tackles on the first down plays to try to set up a play-action boot maybe later if they need it on third down. Maybe a passing order here.
Gattenbein so far 7 of 11 passing for 18 yards. Jordan May has carried 5 times for 18 yards. Nick McIntosh 3 receptions for 16 yards. They'll give it to May on first down. May's got some running room and will take it off the left side for a gain of 7 on first down.
This is a great job opening up that hole by the Riverton offensive line, and then equally impressive, Jordan May hitting that hole, not hesitating at all. He's a big running back. He's got a little bit of speed to him. I don't think he's going to outrun anybody, but might think twice before you tackle him head on.
Give Jordan officially 6, a second down and 4. And now those 3 guys in the backfield again for Riverton on the second down play. Jordan May with his second consecutive carry, and he'll pick up a first down. Back-to-back runs of 6 yards.
First down.
Enough for a first down, as the PA tells us, with 6:20 to play in the second quarter.
Fun to watch a running back who initiates contact, doesn't wait for contact, and then once he is hit, keeps those feet churning. Did a great job of that last week in the Powell game. And Jordan May is, if Riverton's going to establish the run game here today or down the road this season, he's going to be a central part of that.
May now unofficially with 30 yards on 7 carries. Give it to Jordan once again. Actually, that's Tillman. Tillman is driven backwards. Tried to find some room on the left side, and they're going to give him forward progress to close to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of a half a yard for Talon Tillman. Second down and 11. And Fremont Chevrolet providing your scoreboard updates. It's Cody 14, Riverton 0 with 5:13 to play in the first half. Overcast night at Riverton High School. We had some light rain showers earlier in the day. There could be another storm sort of headed our way. Tolman again is met in the backfield. And nope, that's Jordan May. I beg your pardon. I'm all over the place on my names. That's Jordan May who the handoff was to. Some misdirection in there, and May is driven backwards for a loss of 3. So last 2 plays have not gone the direction the Riverton offense was hoping for.
Yeah, you just hope on this play that a hole opens up for Jordan. Somebody on the interior of the defensive line over pursues on the misdirection play fake. Not the case. That was well played by Cody.
Gattenbein looks to throw on 3rd and 14, plants his feet and throws nobody home in between a couple of Cody defenders. Nick McIntosh was the closest in the area, but that falls incomplete and will presumably bring up a Wolverine punt.
That's a difficult throw. Definitely a lot harder than it looks rolling out. We mentioned Gattenbein tried to plant his feet, establish a base. I think he still had some momentum going there and just a little bit overthrown. I think he knew that right as he let the ball go.
Gattenbein gets a much better snap this time, gets the football away. It hits out of bounds at about the 38. We'll see where the official spots it.
Probably bring it up to about the 40.
They get the 41 officially. And that's where the Cody Bronx will take over. So not quite the short field that they had on their first touchdown where they were in Wolverine territory at the 34, but their second best starting point so far in this one as they'll start with it at their own 41. And here comes junior Maddox Ball. Haven't really mentioned how many weapons this Cody team has. I'm sure you've seen it on your screen, but they've got at least 6 guys, sometimes 7 and 8 that they bring in that are receiving targets. Coach Lenhart wants a timeout before Cody gets the first down play off. And of their 6 main contributing wide receivers, 5 of them are over 6 foot tall. By comparison, Riverton's main 2 wide receivers, Ty Sheets and Nick McIntosh, are both listed at 5'11". So height advantage, Cody Bronx there. And then, not to continue to burst your 3A football fan bubble, but a lot of these guys are juniors. They will bring back Maddox Ball, who looks really good at quarterback. They'll bring back Grady McCartan, their leading receiver. Chase Hatch is a junior. Jacob Ball we haven't seen yet, but a lot of Cody Bronx coming back next year, and they've got 110 guys out at all classes for their football program at CHS this year.
It's not a whole lot of fun sometimes when you're trying to rebuild as Riverton is to play a state-ranked team like this. But you really do have to give all the credit in the world to Cody for building up that program. We talked about it in the Porter's pregame show, just basically from the ground up, from the youth football up to the middle school, up to the high school. It's not easy to do, but it is a dominant force once you can get that established.
Ball out of the shotgun. Sends Boustert into motion. Now he's just going to go up the middle, and he's got all kinds of room. He slips a tackle. He's into Wolverine territory and finally drugged down at the 32-yard line. Maddox Ball with a big carry.
This is where they kill you, Jared. After such a big run like that, they are right back on the ball.
That was officially a gain of 30 yards on the ground by Maddox Ball, and then like you said, right back to action. And was that a fumble after the play?
Call him down.
They will call him down. Reception there was A.J. Boustert, I believe, who goes from the 32 all the way down to the 13-yard line. So A.J. Boustert with a gain of 19 on the reception. And here we are to the don't look down portion of the Cody offense. Now the officials going to slow things up a bit. 3:58 to play second quarter. It's 14-0 Bronx, and they're driving again.
It's the only thing that does slow down this offense is when the referees have to catch up and get on the same page.
Ball out of the shotgun, 2 receivers to his right. They'll give it to McCartan, who again has some space, and will pick up a gain of 5 or 6 on first down.
Bolton with the carry.
It's just like getting hit in the mouth over and over and over
May
again.
with the tackle.
Trying to defend against this Cody team, and as you mentioned, Jared, they have 5-6 guys capable of big plays at any given time.
Some motion on the play. I think Cody's going to get backed up 5 yards here as somebody came out of their stance a little bit early, and Riverton will take the yards but also take a quick breather here on defense.
In some strange way, that just gives Cody's offense more end zone to work with. Doesn't feel like that helps out the Wolverines a whole lot.
Second down play. Handoff inside to Luke Moulton, who powers his way forward for a gain of about 4, and it will bring up a 3rd down and 2.
Well, this is 4-down territory for Cody.
Maybe 3rd down and longer now as my depth perception is off. Now the referee going to stop play again, and a timeout is asked for. Timeout by the Bronx this time. So Chase Kistler, actually Matt McFadden, I beg your pardon. Chase Kistler, the head coach of the Powell Panthers. We saw him last week. Matt McFadden in his 11th year for these Cody Bronx takes the timeout. This Cody's success, we've talked about it a lot, but in the last 3 years, they've only lost twice. Both of those losses to what's become their rival in 3A football, Star Valley. Lost last year in the state championship game. Were runners-up, but 10-1. Nothing to really hang your head about, although I know they were hoping for the perfect year.
We will be recognizing Mr. Ron Porter, who will be officially inducted into our Hall of Fame. We will also have a performance by our
3:08 to play second quarter. Cody on top 14-0. And Bronx football from their 7. Scoreboard says 3rd and 2. The down marker says about 3rd and 6. A handoff, no play action fake. Moss has got the catch right to the goal line, and he is in from 7 yards out. It's Maddox's ball to Connor Moss.
Touchdown.
And make it 20-0. PAT pending with 3:02 to play second quarter.
Love a simple play design like that. As you're running the play action, you sneak somebody into the flat, out of the backfield, not a whole lot to it.
Moss just scored that touchdown, and he lines up and kicks the extra point as well, which is good. 3 for 3 on extra points. So the 7-yard touchdown catch from Connor Moss.
It's challenging sometimes as a coaching staff at this point in the game as fatigue is starting to set in, especially on that defensive side when Cody has had quite a few sustained drives here in the first half, and most of them have been successful, and the scoreboard is starting to reflect something you don't like. This is where coaching comes in to keep the guys up and where they need to be.
Myers Gambles, a supporter of these broadcasts, and they bring you our replays. Myers Gambles on Main Street in Lander, cheering on our student athletes. They've got winning deals, and remember, deliveries free 30 miles from the store. That includes Riverton. They always remind you to turn around and shop in town. That's Myers Gambles in Lander. Jarrett Kistler will attempt to kick it deep for the Cody Bronx.
Still have 3:02 to work with here, Jared.
Sheets and McIntosh.
Be a good time for a productive Wolverine drive here into the locker room, too. So there's some momentum at stake here as we near the midway point of the game. Kistler likes to kick kind of those low-line drives. Sheets scoops it up at his own 10 and carries it across the 20. Ty is finally driven down at about his own 23-yard line, and that's where Riverton takes over with 2:51 to play.
We saw a very similar situation at the end of the first half against Powell last week. Similar scoreboard situation. At that time, Riverton had scored. They have not today, but they had just about the same amount of time on the clock, and they drove down the field. Riverton did put together a nice drive. That drive ended up in a field goal before the end of the half, so they have done this year. They did this in 0 week last week.
Blake Gattenbein again in the shotgun for the Wolverines, as officials still holding up play for a moment. Talking things over, and now we're going to reset the football about half a yard.
We're also getting the kicking tee off the field.
Gattenbein has May in the backfield, 2 receivers to either side. Fades to throw, looks to his right, and it's complete. First down. Gattenbein to his favorite target so far again tonight, Nick McIntosh, and another first down for the Wolverines.
Nick McIntosh has a great feel for where the hole in the zone is going to be. Gets to where he needs to be, and this is another nice throw by the sophomore quarterback.
5th first down pickup of the game for Riverton. Trips to the left side. Gattenbein wants to throw again. Nice ball. First down completion again. And that's Ty Sheets on the other side of the field. Gain of 20.
What works once can sometimes work again. This time going to Sheets on the outside as opposed to McIntosh coming in from the slots on that previous first down conversion.
Gattenbein 2 for 2 for 32 yards this drive.
And what we say about the end of the first half, this is exactly what Riverton was able to do last week at the close of the first half against Powell.
Now Blake in the shotgun, 2 receivers to his left, fades to throw again, well protected, airs it out to Jordan May, who is smothered by Chase Hatch, and a big collision, gain of 1. Made it a nice job to turn around and receive the ball, but Chase Hatch was right there in his back pocket.
Also great job hanging on to the ball as he is hit in a great open field tackle by a downhill runner. Boy, that was a shot. That was a great tackle.
90 seconds to play in the second quarter. Wolverine football from the Cody 44. Blake Gattenbein getting the start again. If you're just tuning in, the sophomore quarterback looks to throw, wants it deep. He's got a man right along the sidelines, and it is caught. That's Clay Sheets. Clay with a big first reception of the ball game all the way down to the 10-yard line.
Clay Sheets, not sure if you'd call it pass interference, but he was definitely involved in a hand fight as he's going down the sideline. This is a perfectly thrown ball as well. What a great job of adjustment at the very end of the play by Clay Sheets to turn around, make the play over the defender.
1st and 10 Wolverines. They place it just outside of the 10 near the 11-yard line, so they can't get a first down at the 1. And Coach Lenhart wants a timeout with 1:13 remaining in the half. The Wolverines knocking on the door here from the 11-yard line, and a couple of really big completions, which is just great to see out of a sophomore quarterback getting his first varsity start.
Yeah, we saw great moments from him in the game last week, Jared. And still a couple of moments here in this game where just a bit of an overthrow or maybe just a little bit of a misread. But for every one of those, you're seeing a couple of really heady plays. That last throw down the sideline to Clay Sheets, Gattenbein's having to roll to his left. It's a very difficult thing for a right-handed quarterback to do. Nice plant, beautiful throw, and then Sheets finishes the play. Some kind of mojo Riverton's found at the end of halves so far this season.
Big-time momentum opportunity here as we look ahead to halftime, and Wolverines can hang around within striking distance in this game and make things interesting, but got to capitalize here with a good start to the drive. Gattenbein back out there. He's in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his right side. He's got 1 receiver to his left. Jordan May standing with him in the backfield. Snap to Gattenbein. 3-step drop to Sheets. Touchdown, Wolverines. Blake Gattenbein to tie Sheets from 11 yards out. There's the cannon, and the Wolverines are on the scoreboard.
Bronx bringing some pressure here. You see the free runner on the Gambles replay coming in from Blake's right side. Means there's going to be less help in coverage over the top, and Gattenbein and the Wolverines taking advantage of that. Putting together an end of the first half drive. Last week against Powell, the end of the first half, it resulted in a field goal. 7 points is 4 points better than 3, Jared. just checking your math there.
I'm not a math expert, but yes. What a drive by the Wolverines, who took it over at their own 23-yard line, so they go 70 yards, less than a minute and a half. I didn't timestamp exactly when they...
It was 1:46.
It was 1:46?
I believe.
Okay, I thought they had it with over 2 minutes to play to start there, but either way, it was a quick drive, and 3 first downs, 4, I guess, if you count the touchdown there. A couple of big receptions. Ty Sheets had a 20-yard catch. Nick McIntosh had a 12-yard catch, and then ultimately the connection from 11 yards out, Blake Gattenbein to Ty Sheets, and I believe Blake's first varsity touchdown throw.
Yeah, good call. I believe you're right. He had a couple of those moments last week, but he was coming in a backup role for DeVries, who was in and out of the game after being injured on the very first play of the game last week. This time around, DeVries is sitting just for a precaution. Should be okay, we're hoping. But you see Gattenbein coming in, filling those shoes nicely.
It's fun to see Derek DeVries down there, too, not with pads, but he's been involved in play calling, and he's right there with Gattenbein again. Short kick from Hunter Saltzgaver is fielded by Hatch at about the 28-yard line. Hatch moves it forward to the 34, and with 1 minute remaining in the half, we'll see what Cody opts to do.
I think Cody has 2 timeouts by my tally, and if any offense that we're going to face this year can march down the field in less than a minute, it's obviously this Cody Bronx team. Riverton cannot stop the clock, even just for a breather. So Cody is plenty capable of making some plays here and marching down the field. They're going to have no problem. That's what their offense is tempoed for throughout the duration of the game. So for Riverton, you're not going to be able to run out the clock on them. You just have to step up and make a couple of plays, keep the score at 2 touchdowns before halftime.
Maddox Ball in the shotgun. He's got 3 receivers to the left side, to the top of the screen if you're watching along with us. That's the direction he'll go. Chase Hatch gathers it in, and Hatch is speedy and will pick up 8 on first down.
Got to get right back on the ball and reset for the Riverton defense. Tough to keep up with this pace.
Ball again in the shotgun. 3 receivers out to his right side now, and 1 to the left. Fades to throw. Looking to the right side now. Will just tuck it and go. He's got a lot of room. First down is met by a Wolverine defender, and Riverton did a pretty good job with a couple of defenders getting back and trying to pick out numbers on those tackles here. I feel bad. I don't give credit to the defensive guys nearly as often as I should, but they had a couple of Wolverines in there who made a nice play, limiting the gain. It is still a first down, and Cody wants a timeout.
With 1 still remaining for the Bronx. Yeah, that last play, Jared, that was great coverage down the field by Riverton. Then the quarterback wants to step up, and your eyes get a little big, saying, uh-oh, this could be trouble. Sheets and the rest of the Riverton defense at the second level there, the middle linebacker positions, did a great job of wrapping up the play and minimizing the damage.
Unofficially, you have Cody with 222 yards of total offense, Riverton with 140. Maddox Ball is 5 of 7 for 40 yards, and he does have 39 yards on the ground after that last run. Grady McCartan assisted by that 70-yard run, but he's ran it 4 times for 89 yards.
half of that Riverton offensive production on the half so far is going to have come on that last scoring drive that started on their own 23.
30 seconds to play. We're back to action here as Cody looking to put a late second quarter drive together. Ball intended
pass complete
for Hatch, and it's complete. Great diving catch by Hatch, who has it all the way to the 34-yard line. Ball out of the shotgun again, looking for another receiver, and it's Hatch again who has another first down. Back-to-back plays and a reception out to the 20-yard line as Cody, with 15 seconds, looks to push the tempo again. Ball, fade to throw to the end zone. He's got a man wide open in the back of the end zone, and one receiver on the near side, I thought, said incomplete. The receiver with the better view does say touchdown, though, and it looks like that is going to be the one that counts, as here comes the head official and says touchdown.
So as an offensive guy, it's fun to watch this, but man, is it frustrating when a team is able to do this to you. They get the ball with a minute to go, driving 60 yards, thereabouts down the field, and they only used one of their remaining timeouts to do it.
Moss on the point after touchdown. It's up and good. And after a quick surge of energy from the Wolverines getting their first points of the game, Cody drives right back down the field. They had it with a minute to go and drove from their own 34 to knock it into the end zone. A couple of big plays there as I try to tally up my stats on those last three strikes down the field, but just methodical for Maddox Ball, and worth re-emphasizing, he's just a junior. This is his third career varsity start. He actually started the state championship last year due to a Luke Talich injury. Started 0 week against Lander, looked lights out, and boy, he looks good here. I've talked to 3 or 4 people in the Cody camp and kind of said, how does he compare to Talich? One person who I'll keep anonymous says better, and the rest say pretty comparable. And, of course, Luke Talich is now playing at Notre Dame. So
better than the freshman that just walked on at Notre Dame. That's a scary thought.
Chrysler has it teed up with 7 seconds to go in the half for the Cody Broncs. Low line drive again. Sheets goes to a knee to gather it in. Had a little bit of a trouble getting it in. Now we'll slip a couple of defenders. Made it interesting for a second, but is gathered at the 36-yard line with exactly 1/10 of a second to play. Second quarter.
There's a flag that came out on the near sideline. We'll see what that is.
There is a penalty on the play.
And it was at the end of the play. It was after the play. On the sideline, maybe a late hit. 1/10 of a second, as you mentioned there, Jared.
Coming up on the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show, we will show you the Hall of Fame presentation involving the late Ron Porter. We get a personal foul before the half on the Cody Broncs.
So without that 15 yards, I think you sit on it. You might think about it. Since you have that 1/10 of a second, and since now we're moving toward midfield, in fact, I think the penalty will bring the ball just shy of midfield, still a yard in Riverton territory. So I don't know. Glad I don't have to make that decision, but most of me says you may as well.
I almost think in a game like this, down 3 scores, you might as well try something interesting here.
You don't want to show something that you really love that you might need at the end of a game later in the season. That's the only thing.
3 receivers to Gattenbein's right, 1 to his left. He will roll to his right, plant to throw, wants McIntosh, and it is wisely swatted away by a Cody defender. Nice heads-up play, Trey Schroeder, who could have easily intercepted it, but just bats it down.
At half, Cody, 28.
At the half,
Riverton,
it is the Cody Broncs 28, the Riverton Wolverines 7. We'll try to squeeze in some first half stats here. Don't exactly know what the order of the halftime festivities is going to be, although I do see the Wolverine marching band ready to walk on. So we'll get you a little bit of that on your screen too. And again, try to bring you the Ron Porter Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which is scheduled for halftime. And for those of you listening on 105.1 Jack FM, we're going to do our best to bring you the audio involved with that, and hopefully you're able to hear it on the radio just fine. If you are somewhere you can get to a computer or a device, find County 10's YouTube page, County 10's Facebook, to find more there. Looks like we might get a video presentation, which we'll try to hopefully pan over to and bring you some of that. Once again, at the half, it's the Cody Bronx 28, the Riverton Wolverines 7. And here is the Hall of Fame presentation, which we will try to turn it over to the public address announcer here at Wolverine Field.
Please welcome Mr. Porter's family as we recognize him this evening. Tonight we honor the late Ron Porter, a 2020 RHS Hall of Fame inductee, the former voice of Wolverine football and distinguished Riverton High School educator, coach, mentor, and ardent supporter. Porter taught, coached, announced, and impacted several coaches, parents, and fans for both Cody and Riverton High Schools, among countless others. Porter was a Wolverine by birth and an inspiration by commitment. After graduating from RHS in 1971, he spent several years coaching and teaching at Cody High School before returning to his roots in RHS in 1984. He followed in his father's footsteps as the voice of the Wolverines, announcing games under the Friday night lights of Tonkin Stadium and Wolverine Field for more than 35 years. Throughout his extensive career, Porter coached numerous teams for both boys and girls basketball and announced countless football and volleyball games. While his teams never won a state title, he earned intangible victories that simply cannot be listed on the stat sheet or banners. Porter committed his life to serving others, spending more than 4 decades infusing his students, teams, colleagues, and family with an unshakable belief. His philosophy of Together We Are encapsulated the power of a team and the latent potential he believed resided in every person. His approach to teaching was a holistic blend of great expectations and genuine compassion, demanding excellent accountability, perseverance, and humility from students, players, his children, grandchildren, and above all, himself. Porter's greatest gift and the infinite legacy he leaves behind in his endless reinvestment in others, a legacy which continues to inspire us today. May his tenacious, generous, and gracious spirit live on through the hard work and dedication of current and future educators and coaches. Never underestimate your power to change a life. Please join us in celebrating Coach Ron Porter, the voice of the Wolverines, and 2020 Riverton High School Hall of Fame inductee. Thank you, Porters.
The Hall of Fame induction ceremony and an emotional night here at Riverton High School for many with the induction of the late Ron Porter, Ron's family. We mentioned that Ron has a grandkid playing for Cody, Grady McCartan, whose name you've heard quite a bit. Appropriately, he had a 70-yard run here on the Hall of Fame night for his grandfather, but he's got grandkids on Riverton, he's got grandkids on Cody, an instrumental part of the community, and left Riverton for the better, was an influencer for many here in the community.
I think a lot of us, Jared, in all walks of life, don't understand the impact, just don't realize the impact that we have on people as we just go through our daily lives. And if you're a part of Riverton Athletics for 40 years, just imagine all those classes, all those athletes that will have fond memories of him, all the people that listen to him call games. Just a staple of Riverton football for 4 decades. That's an amazing thing and a nice tribute that his family was able to take part in here at halftime.
Again, we are at the half. It's the Cody Bronx 28, Riverton Wolverines 7. Cody putting together a very fast scoring drive, took the ball from their own 34 and marched it all the way down the field to score with 7 seconds remaining before halftime. So some momentum on their side right now. Let's take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll try our best to round up some first half stats for you, get you set for half number 2 of action here from Wolverine Field. We'll take a quick timeout and bring you the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show after this break on 105.1 Jack FM and County10.com.
For an upgrade to your vehicle, Wyoming 4x4 is the place to go for all your upgrade needs. From lift kits to bumpers, grill guards to bed liners, we've got everything you need to take your ride to the next level. We use top brands for our bumpers like Fab 4s, Ranch Hand, and Road and more. So get your vehicle ready and stop at Wyoming 4x4, or give Dan a call at 307-857-3175.
Redden, Kane & Associates. CPAs is your go-to source for tax, financial, and business solutions. Our experienced professionals are trusted and know the numbers. We're dedicated to providing personalized attention to each of our clients. Whether you're an individual or a business, we're here to help with all your accounting needs. Let us do the math for you. Stop in or visit rivertoncpa.com to learn more.
Myers Gambles is your one-stop shop for furniture, mattresses, and appliances in Lander, Wyoming. We have an unbeatable selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, and dining room. Plus, we have the latest trends in home furnishings. Our mattresses are comfortable and affordable, and our appliances are built to last. Whether you're looking for a new TV, sofa, or refrigerator, we have the perfect finish, style, and function for your home. Visit us at 420 Main Street in Lander, or check out our website, landergambles.com. Today.
This guy was driving way over the speed limit. Look at the damage. This guy was going a lot over the speed limit. Look at the damage. This guy was going a little over the speed limit. Look at the damage.
Elevate Rehab's founding principle on you is evident from your first visit to the last. Our practice model ensures treatment as you deserve, a private one-on-one session with a licensed therapist the entire visit, every visit. All therapists hold advanced credentialing, including 2 certified hand therapists, an orthopedic clinical specialist, an MDT therapist, as well as pelvic floor and pregnancy rehab offerings. With over 100 years of combined experience between our 7 clinicians, Elevate is your ticket to health. Find us in Lander, DuBois, and visit our website or Facebook page. Choose Elevate Rehab to
every Wolverine football game all season long. Watch on the County 10 YouTube channel or listen on 105.1 Jack FM.
Welcome you into the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show presented by the Wyoming Department of Transportation. If you're watching along the video feed at County 10, you can check out the performance from the cheerleaders. We had the Riverton High School marching band on your screen moments ago, and hats off to everybody involved here with Riverton High School activities. And it's almost kind of hard to believe we just started school a couple weeks ago, and already we have all these activities and happenings out here on this first day of September. Riverton trailing the second-rated Cody Bronx 28-7 at halftime. Quick glance at some first-half stats. They became a lot more unofficial after that last drive. I tried my best to keep up with those last 3 receptions, but unofficially I've got Maddox Ball 8-10 for 92 yards. Grady McCartan, the leading rusher in this game, he's carried 4 times for 89 yards. Maddox Ball officially has 4 carries for 39 yards. One of those those went backwards too, but he ripped off a big 30-yard run in the second quarter. Luke Moulton has carried the football 4 times for 22 yards for the Broncs. Jacob Ball has got 2 passes for 37 yards. A.J. Boustert, 2 receptions for 19. Grady McCartan had a catch out of the backfield for 5 yards. Again, Cody scored on the third drive of the game, and that was on a very short field. They took over at the Riverton 34. It was A.J. Boustert who ran it from 34 yards out for the first points of the game with 6:38 to play in the first quarter. It was 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. They started scoring in the second half at the 7:13 mark when that Grady McCartan 70-yard run to the house took place. And then with 3:02 remaining in the second quarter, it was a 7-yard touchdown catch to Connor Moss. Riverton would find the end zone at that point when it was 21-0. They put together their best drive, maybe of the season so far, and ultimately an 11-yard pass play from Blake Gattenbein to Ty Sheets gave the Wolverines the 7 points on the board. However, unfortunately, the momentum was short-lived as Cody goes on a 66-yard drive that took 53 seconds and an 11-yard touchdown catch from Maddox Ball to Jacob Ball. So that's where we are at the half. 28-7, the Wolverines trailing the Cody Broncs.
With the exception of that very last drive that Cody had with under a minute before halftime, in which they pretty much dictated the pace and did what they want to, Riverton has been able to force mistakes. They've forced a turnover. They've been able to get Cody to make a couple of penalties, 3 or 4 flags thrown against the Broncs in the first half. And aside from that very last drive, that's what makes this 28-7 at halftime against such a good team so frustrating, I'm sure, for the players and the coaches, that you're just a couple of plays away on any given drive, a couple of plays from making this maybe a 1-2 touchdown game. Things got a little bit away from the Wolverines at the very end of the half. But then again, I'm not sure what you do when that kind of offense, especially with 2 timeouts, gets the ball right about midfield and is able to just march down in almost no time. And didn't even use their third and final timeout, didn't even need the full 60 seconds to put together that scoring drive. But a lot of positives to take away. I was much more impressed by Riverton's out-of-the-gate defense here in the first half against arguably a superior team. I don't think that's breaking any news that this Cody Broncs team is number 2 in the state for a reason. And Riverton showed up. You could tell they had a game plan. You could tell that they were prepped. They didn't need any time to really ease their way into the game. Some of those guys in the outside linebacker positions and the cornerback positions had to step up and make really nice open field tackles on some of those drives that started for Cody further into their own side of the field. And Riverton answered the call, but for a couple of big plays, but for that drive in the first quarter in which Cody had a very short field, just 33-yard touchdown drive there. And aside from that very last drive at the end of the first half, that was nothing but impressive by Cody. I mean, Riverton has had the ability to be right there in this game, and I think that's highlightable. I think that's something that you can point to as a coaching staff and say, this is arguably the best team that we're going to play all year, and you guys, but for these moments here, are pretty much right there with them.
Interested to see how the second half goes. Coach Lenhart stressed last week, I just want to compete for 48 minutes. Don't take your foot off the gas no matter what happens. Riverton did that against Powell. They made the fourth quarter very interesting, so let's see what happens here in the next 24 minutes. Get you a couple of a couple of scores of interest from around the state. Some Fremont County games of interest going on. Our counterpart, Wyatt Barijka, has a good one over at Bill Bush Memorial Stadium in Lander with the Tigers out in front of the Green River Wolves 14-9 in the fourth quarter. So late stages of that one, Tigers clinging to a 5-point lead in kind of a slugfest. Also a Fremont County interest. There was one game yesterday and a rematch of last year's 1A 9-man state championship. Shoshone made made the long trip down to Pine Bluffs, and Pine Bluffs, the number 1 ranked team in 1A 9-man football, wound up on the victorious side, 36-12 to start the year for the Hornets and the Wranglers. Some other 3A scores of interest around the state right now at halftime. Number 3 Douglas leads Jackson 28-6, and at halftime, number 4 Powell, the team we saw last week, is shutting out Worland 23-0 at halftime there. So that Powell team looks like they're very good, and they are right now shutting out a team that had some expectations to be a pretty solid squad in the Worland Warriors at halftime. Trying to find some more Fremont County scores of interest. Guernsey Sunrise knocked off Wyoming Indian earlier today, 28-8. And in 6-man football, second-rated DuBois down Hewlett in easy fashion, 75-12. I know Wind River has a game tomorrow that they scrambled for and will make up because their earlier scheduled game this week got postponed. Wind River is headed to Campbell County to take on the Campbell County JV tomorrow at 1 p.m. They originally were going to play Saratoga, but that game was canceled. So there you go. There's a look around some scores. All of those courtesy of wyopreps.com. Again, if you're joining us on the stream on County 10's YouTube or Facebook, drop us a line, leave us a comment. Would love to know where you're listening or viewing from, even if it's here in Fremont County. You can send us a hello there. Would love to get you a shout out and say hi to you on the broadcast through the second half. About a minute away from second half action here, and will be Cody football, I believe, as Riverton received to start the football game.
Yep, they won the coin toss. A lot of teams in this day and age like to defer. I like taking the ball. I like taking the ball against the number 2 team in the country, or in the state. Seems like number 2 team in the country at times here today. But that first opening drive for Riverton did not go as well. Riverton's offense starting a little bit slower in this game than they did last week, 0 week against Powell. But when that offense got going with Gattenbein and some of those receiving options, Sheets was big in that first half. Made a couple of just great catches. McIntosh, after being contacted on a contested ball, made and dropping the ball where the contact, made another contact contested catch and came down with the ball. Passing game found its stride. Running game is still a tough slog for Riverton. I know that's something that the coaching staff wants to establish as we go on throughout the season. But all in all, a lot of positives again to take away. I mean, we really, Jared, weren't sure how this was going to go. After what Cody did to Lander last week, you kind of see the score and go, eesh. I don't want to extrapolate different games from common opponents. But I don't think I think it's a natural thing to do. It's hard not to. And after you see that score in Lander last week, you're wondering what kind of Riverton team is going to show up. But they did. But for a couple of drives on a short field, and then at the end of the first half, but for a couple of plays, Riverton has been more or less right there with this number 2 team in the state.
Hunter Saltzgaver will be handed the football in a moment to kick it away for the Riverton Wolverines. Saltzgaver was perfect on extra points last week and kicked in a 32-yard field goal. I watched him on warm-ups, too. He has quite the leg. And Chase Hatch is back to receive along with one more, Cody Brunk, who will get you in a second. If you're listening on Jack FM, Wolverines in their home Cardinal red uniforms, black helmets with the R logo on the side. Cody Brunk's in their away white uniforms is kind of a little pooch kick out of bounds. I don't know if that was intended for a recovery attempt or not, but kicked out of bounds, and it's going to be good starting position for the Bronx as the flag flies in. Ball ultimately went out of bounds at about the 36.
Yeah, I think that was a designed play, and I think you just hope for a bounce off of the Cody receiver, and he almost obliged. You have to respect that if you're Cody because it's a live ball. So if it does bounce back into the field of play, Riverton can fall on it, but you can't get too close to that either unless you're going to catch it, because if it bounces off of you, it's a live ball.
Maddox ball returns to the field to fire up his Cody offense. The juniors look great so far. He's only thrown 2 incompletions. He's only thrown 10 times, which is a little below his average, but has completed 8 of them. He'll pitch it out here to Hatch, who is in motion, and he crosses the 45-yard line for a gain of 7 on first down.
That H-back that you mentioned earlier in the broadcast that Cody uses, that's basically a tight end off and off the line of scrimmage who can be involved in the run game.
Shotgun snap to Ball. He hands it to McCartan. McCartan's got the first down easily and more. Dances around and continues to beat Wolverine defenders. He's got some open space to the 20, the 15, 10, 5. And Grady is off to the end zone again. Touchdown, Cody Bronx. 2 plays into from scrimmage into the third quarter, and it's another Cody Bronx touchdown.
A running back that can exhibit this kind of balance with such quick feet and cutback ability is a tall order to get down in the open field. I think you have to get him at the line of scrimmage. Don't give him any space, otherwise he's got all kinds of tools and moves that he can unleash on you. That was a pretty run.
Moss on for the extra point. That is once again through the uprights and good. So just 40 seconds into the third quarter, Cody has struck first here in the half, and the Bronx lead the Wolverines 35-7. So we talked about that momentum going into the locker room, and like lightning, basically, the Bronx take advantage of some poor Wolverine tackling and a good strong run from Grady McCartan to get to the end zone.
Yeah, that's tough, but Blake Ettenbein and the rest of the offense have an opportunity to pick up where they left off at the end of the first half and get some of that momentum right back. I liked a lot of what I saw from the sophomore quarterback and some of the top-tier receiving options that Riverton's going to be leaning on quite heavily all year. Obviously not as deep as Cody, which has 6 receiving options, all of them over 6 feet, as you mentioned, all of them upperclassmen and juniors, and all of them interchangeable, it seems, in the offense. They're all weapons. Riverton is not going to have that this year, but they do have enough weapons, if they can stay healthy and continue to improve, to give pretty much every team that they're going to play this year a run for their money. It's just you're running up against a big, tall task here against Cody.
Jarrett Chrysler again will kick deep for Cody. All of them so far have been kind of low-line drives, and he'll put this one in the air, end over end. It's Ty Sheets who comes up to field it, runs into a pack of Cody Bronx right at the 30-yard line. So decent field position, at least by comparison to where the Wolverines started most of the first half. They take over at their own 30 with 11:14 to play in the third quarter. Want to thank our friends at Sutherland's real quick. Sutherland's has what you need for every project. Stop by Sutherland's on North Federal in Riverton. They wish all Fremont County athletes the best of luck. Blake Gattenbein again got the start. Derek DeVries had that ankle injury. First play from scrimmage against Powell got out most of the game. Gattenbein came in for a few snaps and did very well, but Blake getting his first career varsity start, wants to throw, looks deep. Ty Sheets is there, made a nice adjustment to come back to the football, and Ty Sheets has the reception all the way down to the 42-yard line.
Gattenbein does a nice job in the pocket here. This is great footwork. That's a nice pump fake. And just a little underthrown. I mean, that's a bomb. That's a long throw. If you're throwing the ball 35 yards down the field to that sideline, you can add another 15 yards to that. I mean, on a timing route, that's a tough throw. And you mentioned the adjustment there on the catch, made the play. A lot of receivers scared to go back through defenders.
Play officially goes 27 yards. Gattenbein to Sheets. Ty's 6th catch for 66 yards. Gattenbein again in the shotgun. He's got 2 backs facing some pressure, but they set up the screen to Sheets, who has to hurdle over his own man. Turns it into a positive. Picks up 3, 4 maybe on first down, but nice job by Ty to kind of regain his composure.
Yeah, Ty Sheets doing a nice job to finish the play in a positive. Gattenbein there had the timing right. Action looked good in the backfield. He raised his arm to throw that ball and tipped off the screen just a little bit, and that gave Cody secondary the linebackers time to adjust. Otherwise, that play did have the potential, I think, to go for maybe 10, 15 yards more.
Feels like we've had a lot happen in the first 2 minutes of the third quarter. A Cody touchdown, and now a big Wolverine play. 2nd and 7 forthcoming for the Wolverines at the Cody 39. Gattenbein in the shotgun looking for Sheets, and that is over his head. Incomplete. Beardall had good coverage again, and that's nothing new compared to what he did in the first half defensively as well, but that out of a jumping receiver's hands.
What you like to see from Gattenbein here is he recognizes the pressure pre-snap. He sees the blitz is coming, and he knows where to go on the hot read with the ball. It is easier said than done to throw that ball on target when you know you're about to take a hit, but a great job of recognition and putting the ball where it needed to be, just a little bit overthrown.
3rd and 7. Gattenbein has 3 receivers now to his left side with one going in motion. We'll flare it out to McIntosh. He's got some blockers in front. McIntosh has a first down and is driven out of bounds at the 28-yard line. So nicely designed play with the trips to the left. Finds McIntosh and takes advantage of those blocks. Gain of 11.
In both the first 2 games here, this week 1 and 0 week against Powell, you've seen that a lot in the passing scheme for Riverton. They like to throw the ball into the flat, which I love seeing to stretch the defense. And when those receivers get a little bit short up on their blocking technique, some of those plays have big, big play potential.
I know Coach Lenhart was not too into the moral victories last time, but Riverton with, by my count, their 11th first down of the ball game right there.
Yeah.
And I know you want to compete every time out on the scoreboard too, but pretty good showing, at least comparatively to last year. Gattenbein rolling to his right, has a man right at the sticks, and another first down.
For 11 yards gain.
McIntosh over there again, I believe it is. Nick McIntosh on the far side of the field has back-to-back 11-yard catches.
You know, McIntosh getting hit like he did on that contested catch in the first quarter, a ball he dropped, might have been the best thing that happened to his receiving game all season. He's now fully expecting contact every time he goes over the middle, and knowing that, he's got a good grip on the ball. This is a nice rollout by Gattenbein to deliver throw on the run, too.
Fresh set of downs for the Wolverines from the Cody 17 now, still on the drive. Back-to-back 11-yard receptions. Give it to Jordan May, who's stuffed in backfield for a loss of 1. Tried to bounce it out to the left side, but he had no room there with 2 or 3 Cody Broncs right there.
Between the X's and O's that Riverton exhibits their scheme in the passing game, and we know now they have 2 mobile quarterbacks in DeVries and Gattenbein, who not quite interchangeable, I'd say, at this point with Gattenbein, a sophomore. That'll come with reps. You see right away here, the biggest improvement Riverton needs to make is on that run game. That's exactly what Coach Leonard indicated after the Powell game with you, Jared.
3 receivers to the left side. Gattenbein looking to the end zone, some hand fighting, and here comes the flag. Wolverine fans kind of had their hands in the air like, you going to throw it or not? And finally the official did.
So I'm fine with contact on a play like that, but at the point here where you see the defender on the Gambles replay wrap both arms around him is the point when the flag has to come out. That was a very late flag, but the correct call, we'll say the flag got stuck in the pocket there.
Pass interference on Cody.
Pass interference is officially the call, which will move the Wolverines forward. That pass was intended for junior Jackson Larson, who has come on to do some nice things. Had a good play defensively and draws the penalty that time.
And you need some breaks against a team like Cody. Riverton's doing a great job. This arguably is as good an offensive drive as they had on that touchdown drive in the first half, but you are going to need things to go your way. You're going to need great individual plays. You're going to need your quarterback to continue to make the right decisions, which Gattenbein has all day long. But you need to finish off the drive. Talked about this in the Powell game. This can be a learned skill for a team that has historically, recently, had trouble putting up points.
Football is just inside of the 10-yard line, brings up a 2nd and 2 after the penalty. Gattenbein will give it to the first guy through. Jordan May will have a first down and fights for a couple of more. Gain of 4 on the ground. And I think you said it earlier, Scott, but Jordan may not beat you in a foot race, but he's very powerful, especially when you need a gain of 2 or 3 there. He's going to pick up 4 that time.
Yeah, he's got some good size too, but any running back, especially in high school, any running back that seeks contact is someone you're going to be comfortable giving the ball to. I mean, that's Jordan May in a nutshell, that he is looking not to get hit, but to go hit somebody.
First and goal, Wolverines from the 6. Gattenbein under center as a full house backfield. They'll give it to May, who looks for some room off the left side, and he's stuck by Cody defenders in there again. That's a big defensive line who drives him a half a yard backwards. Sorensen with the tackle was the first guy there to get the credit, but there were about 4 Cody Broncs you could credit.
Even cleaner in this game in terms of the new program stuff that we talked about quite a bit during the PAL broadcast, but getting the play in, making sure personnel packages are correct. Obviously, Riverton, compared to Cody, any offense is going to seem slow, but they have locked down the intangibles during another week of practice even more.
Gattenbein under center will fake the give, now rolls to his right, looking to the end zone, incomplete, just off the mark. Had a receiver in the corner, but couldn't connect with him.
Can't quite see if that's Jordan May in the backfield there. And what you'll see in the Gambles replay is the running back come over and notice that his left guard needs some help. And he picks up that first man through is what the running back is looking for blocking-wise on a pass play. And he made the right decision, and it's because of that help from the backfield that Gattenbein was able to roll out and have a shot at the end zone.
Wolverines trail 35-7, 6:58 to play, third quarter on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard, and they have it at the 7 for a 3rd and goal. And before we get to that play, Riverton wants a timeout to talk it over.
Timeout, Riverton.
It's one thing you've noticed about Coach Leonard in these first 2 games on the sideline too, is he is not stingy with using the timeouts in either the first or the second half. A lot of coaches like to think about it, especially in close games in the second half. Those timeouts tend to be a little bit more valuable. But I think he's looking out there, and he knows obviously what the scheme of the play is going to be, looking at the defense, and if he doesn't like a matchup, he's going to call a timeout, put his players in the best position to succeed, which you like to see. We saw it a couple of times in the first game as well, Jared. Riverton would set in formation and then look over to the sideline to get the play call. And I've always thought, even though it takes a little more time, I've always thought that is a service to your players. I mean, you owe it to your guys on the field to make sure that they are in the right set, make sure that the play you have called isn't going to blow up, isn't going to get somebody hurt. And it also gives you a chance, an offensive play caller, a chance to tweak it, maybe call a hot route and come up with something else. We have not seen them do that in this game so far, though.
Gattenbein and the Wolverine offense trot back out for a 3rd and goal. 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Jordan May with him in the backfield, actually 2 receivers to either side. Gattenbein looking to his right, got kind of crossed up, and there comes a flag, so that may be part of the reason they got crossed up, and a flag in the end zone, presumably on the Cody defensive back, could give the Wolverines a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, I think you're going to get a... I didn't see it, honestly, on the Gambles replay, Jared. I saw what looked to me like a miscommunication on the route by those 2 receivers on the right side, causing the defenders to run into each other. There was not a whole lot of... there was contact, but it seemed to be more inadvertent. But obviously, the Wolverines are going to take that.
Officials gathered for a long time. We'll get the indication here.
It is going to be PI against Cody.
Against Cody.
I guess you could make the case that you're inhibiting the receiver's route,
3rd and goal.
but you won't design passing routes that cross over each other like that for that reason, just to keep your own guys from running into each other. There was some kind of miscommunication there somewhere, I thought, but that's a break. I mean, the Wolverines will take every good luck charm they can get.
Ball placed on the 3-yard line.
I mean, that should be first down.
I would have thought so, but the indication is 3rd and goal from the 3. And that's what both the down marker and the scoreboard have. Gattenbein dumps it off to Jordan May, who is not going to get very far. Jordan out of the backfield, corralling it, lost a gain of 2 on the reception.
I'm still a bit confused on why we have 4th down right here. 3rd down play after the pass interference.
Yeah, I am too, and I don't see anybody arguing it, so I think it's just us that are
It's
stumped.
very possible. Usually that is the case.
4th and 5, it appears, for the Wolverines, and they are going to go for it on the 5-yard line. Gattenbein in the shotgun, 2 receivers to either side. Gattenbein looking to the end zone, tipped and incomplete. Ty Sheets jumped for it. It goes off of his hands, and the Wolverines will turn it over on downs.
Take a look at this 4th down play when the Gambles replay. Nice footwork by Gattenbein in the pocket. I've seen quite a few overthrows by the sophomore quarterback. A lot of that has been a result of pressure, but some of that could be release points as well. If he's letting that ball go just a touch too soon when it's high in his throwing motion, it has happened enough where I would look at that. But let's give the Wolverines some credit on that drive. That's, without finishing off the touchdown, one of their more impressive drives of the game against this Cody defense. A couple of great plays on that drive.
4 first downs and 5 minutes, 14 seconds of elapsed time on that drive. Ultimately marched it 65 yards to the 5-yard line. Good to see Riverton putting things together like that. Scoreboard ultimately may not reflect it, but there are already some positives to take away, it feels like. McCartan will get the carry on the first play of the Cody start. Actually, I take that back. That's Luke Moulton. Luke Moulton gets 3. That's Luke's 5th carry. He's got 25 yards on the evening. You'd think I'd learn his name eventually. 2nd down and 7 for the Bronx. Ball wants to throw. Nice little slant route caught by Chase Hatch. And Hatch has a first down.
It's good coverage on the outside. You're just in solo man coverage on an island by yourself, and you're giving up about 4 or 5 inches to the guy, your receiver you're guarding.
Ball now on the 19 all of a sudden, and they'll get a few more. That is Moulton again with the carry, who picks up 5 on first down, bring up a 2nd and 5 for the Bronx. Ball out of the shotgun, has Hatch with a blocker in front. He slips a tackle. Now he's off to the races across midfield to the 40, the 30. He's going to take it the distance, the 10-5. Touchdown, Cody.
You knew this was going to be trouble when you saw the snap of the ball. You'll see a little bit of a contain, it looks like, from the right side on the secondary there. And once you throw beyond that, one of those 2 Wolverines have to make a play because there is nobody else there. And a talented athlete did the rest.
A 74-yard touchdown. It takes 3 plays to go 95 yards. And Cody notches another one on the scoreboard. Moss with the extra point through the uprights, and with 5:03 to play in the 3rd quarter, it's Cody 42, Riverton 7.
Cody.
They're capable. Cody is beating you in so many different ways, so quickly. There's so much to worry about on the field defensively. There's just so much to try to contain, so much to try to cover, and then once you think you've got everything beat, you got everything covered, you have that big quarterback who steps up in the pocket and runs straight up the middle. This is just obviously a team, they're 2nd ranked for a reason. This is a team full of offensive weapons. I do think their defense is susceptible a little bit, Jared, on a state level when you're talking about getting into the playoffs and maybe another state title run for the Bronx. But this offense, I don't know what you do. I think Riverton came in with as good a game plan as you can in terms of forcing them to make mistakes and getting off the field early in the drive. And they have been successful here and there at that, but this is just an all-star roster, a deep program that is, by all appearance, going to be pretty good for a long time.
They've gone final in Lander.
Oh.
And the Green River Wolves scored late in the fourth quarter. Green River prevails. Heartbreaker for the Lander Tigers, 15-14 the final score.
They were up late.
It was a slugfest. I think it was 14-9 at last check, and then 6 more points, it appears, for Green River near the end. But YO Preps reporting that final 15-14. Sheets on the kickoff reception will race it out to the 32-yard line, and that's where Riverton takes over with 5 minutes remaining, third quarter action.
Obviously, don't like to give up the quick scoring drive, and when it happens that quickly, the offensive linemen look around and say, really? I got to go back out there? But the Wolverines do have some offensive momentum based on that last drive. Try and put together a nice one here with 5 minutes even remaining in the third quarter.
Blake Gattenbein, the sophomore, second on the depth chart, getting the start in place of Derek DeVries. So far, unofficially, 17 of 26 for 153 passing yards, 1 touchdown. That was the 11-yard pass to Ty Sheets. Gattenbein's out of the shotgun to start the drive, flips it to Jordan May in the backfield, and May fights to get back to the line of scrimmage. May have turned it into a positive gain of a yard or half a yard.
Thought for a moment the ball came out toward the end of the play, but Riverton retains possession. Talking about Blake Gattenbein, there's a lot of high school teams in the country that if they lost their QB1 and had to go to a sophomore, they'd be in some trouble. Blake has had his sophomore moments. I think Coach Leonard indicated that. But he is more than capable of running the entire offense, putting together a good throw when he needs to. He's got some great athletic receiving options to help him out. He has been very impressive in the limited action we saw against Powell and throughout the entirety of the game, all things considered here today, too.
Tight formation, Gattenbein under center. Give it to Jordan May. He'll try the left side, and he goes backwards again. A fired-up Cody Bronk in the backfield.
It's going to take some time to get that running game where the coaching staff here, Coach Leonard, the rest of the staff want it to be. But when you establish that, and I know they'll keep working at it, when you establish that, it just creates all kinds of possibility for your offense. Saw some of it last week, but you did get the indication, since Riverton was in that game against Powell late, that the screen game took the place of the run game because they were in third down and long situations where they had to move the ball, where you might otherwise try some kind of a run earlier in the drive. And basically substituting the screen game last week for the run game. Not this week, Jared. This week, they are saying we are going to try to establish the run game. And, we may not get there, but we are going to run the ball.
Wolverines going to take a timeout with 3:10 remaining in the third quarter. Once again on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard, it's Cody 42, Riverton 7. Gives us an opportunity to thank a couple of folks like Central Bank and Trust, your hometown bank, supporting our local athletes, cheering for the Wolverines. Central Bank and Trust has locations in Riverton, Lander, and Fort Washakie. Also want to thank Baldwin Creek Rental Center in Lander. They've got everything covered from equipment to party rental supplies. That's 675 Baldwin Creek Road. Stop in, see how they can help, and they wish all Fremont County athletes the best of luck. Scott and I will be with you a week from tonight on the first road trip of the season. We are headed to as southwest of Wyoming as you can get, Evanston, right there along the Utah border, and an interesting Evanston Red Devil team that I've heard is much improved, but they haven't had a ton of success, at least the success that they've been hoping for the last few years, so it should be an interesting matchup next Friday night. Out of the timeout, Gattenbein lines up under center. May in the backfield trips to the right side of the formation. Gattenbein fades to throw. He's got one-on-one single coverage, knocked away out of bounds. That Chase Hatch back there with the play. I think it's either Chase or Trent Bauer. I think that must be Chase Hatch who knocked it away. The intended receiver was Ty Sheets.
This is a beautiful throw. Blake Gattenbein stepping up. He's going to throw it 25, 30 yards down the field, but he's going basically from the left hash to the right sideline. So that's a 40-plus yard ball in the air that was perfect. It was right where it needed to be, just great coverage.
Wolverines will punt here on 4th and 10. It's Blake Gattenbein to do the punting. Takes a bounce at the Wolverine 40-yard line, and now a nice roll inside of the 40 all the way down to the 37. So Cody takes over again with 2:52 to play now, third quarter action. It's the Bronx 42, the Wolverines 7, and Maddox ball, and the Cody offense return to the field. Got to give Coach Matt McFadden a lot of credit. Matt in his 11th year at the helm and just has built a force to be reckoned with. The entire Cody High School, we've mentioned it on the broadcast, has some great athletes, girls basketball state champs, indoor track state champs, girls cross country state champs. They had 3 consecutive Legion baseball championships until they were beaten in the championship game by Powell this year. So it's been a long run, and the football team obviously looks very sharp once again this year. Ball receive the snap, but flags fly, and we will get a penalty before they can run their first play of the drive.
I didn't see who wasn't set for Cody, but somebody was not.
Cody?
One of my favorite new Friday afternoon traditions, Jared, when I finally get a moment at the end of the week, is to download your podcast, County 10 Sports Podcast with yourself and Wyatt. A couple of great interviews before the Friday games so far. Would encourage anybody into Fremont County sports, not just football, to go find the County 10 Sports Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.
1st and 15 after the procedure. They'll hand the ball off. Running back picks up 2.
Peterson with the run.
That's Owen Peterson, who's in there for his first carry. Gets a positive gain, bring up 2nd and 13. Also want to thank the Riverton High School volleyball team, new head coach Justin Taylor. And I was able to chat with 4 senior volleyball players. That's available now under the County 10 Sports Podcast. Good pass from Maddox ball to Hatch again on that side. No, that's Jacob Ball on the other side. And Talon Tillman was right there in his grill. I thought he had a chance to intercept that ball for a second.
Talon's eyes got the size of saucers. He thought he was going to be able to make a play on that ball.
Ball well protected, wants to go deep. He's got a receiver. It's hauled in. A pickup of a whole lot all the way down to the 20-yard line for the Cody Bronx on the reception.
This was just a long distance for that single high safety look anyway. I think some run support there, a priority on that play, and that's just a long way for him to run to help out on coverage.
Jace Jarrett gains a 35-plus yard play, and here comes another very positive play for the Bronx. Storming into the end zone from 21 yards out is McCartan. That Grady in there?
Peterson?
Nope, Peterson again. Owen Peterson's second carry of the night. He goes 21 yards to the house, and all of a sudden, Cody piling on the scoreboard here with another one with 1:47 to play in the quarter.
Depth of this Cody team is just scary. When you have 2 or 3 running backs we've seen pull off a run like that, each of them could be starting on most teams in the state. Stacked, to say the least, this Cody Bronx team. And as Jared has so pleasantly reminded us, most of them are not seniors. Most of them will be in this game again next year.
I asked Wyatt Barijka, our Lander play-by-play guy. He mentioned we do the podcast together, and this week on the podcast, Wyatt originally is from Cody, so he's very familiar with this Bronx program. I said, how many 4A teams could Cody beat? And ultimately he deferred to, I don't know, unless they actually play each other. But I maintain that it's quite a few of them. There are a lot of talented 4A teams across the state, but I think Cody, a level up, would still be a very, very good team. And looking forward to that October showdown just as a football fan to see when Cody takes on Star Valley again this year.
Yeah, that'll be a fun score to watch for. 115 kids on this roster, most of them upperclassmen, and they are deep, especially at those key offensive positions.
Big basketball fan and have been able to do the state championship broadcast for a while. One of my favorite all-time athletes to watch play girls basketball in Wyoming is Cody's Molly Hayes. She won Gatorade Player of the Year last year, and as we've mentioned on this football team a whole bunch, she was just a junior, so she's back next season for the Cody girls basketball squad. Sheets will take it on a bounce, and it will work it across the 30-yard line where the Wolverines will take over. No, not quite across the 30. Again, depth perception problems from where I am. That football will be laid out at about the 27.
Once again, just to run that offense. I know you and I are really hopeful about the future of this Riverton team. Rebuilding takes some time, and especially when you have a schedule like Powell and then boom, Cody right after that. Those things will level off for us. But we will, I think, stop talking about moral victories sooner than not in this season. This is just it's tough. This is a tough team to play in the first real game of the first game that Coach Leonard is coaching.
Last year, the score 49-0 as we get a little reverse action here. Sheets hands it to McIntosh. McIntosh stretches things out on the far side of the field. Can't quite get to the sticks, but a gain of 9 on first down on the reverse.
You see McIntosh with a little bit of a collision there on the handoff. And the way it worked out almost looked intentional, but that's a scary moment in the backfield. I know that without giving too much away to any ears that may be listening from different parts of the state, Jared, you have attended some of these practices, and there are some wrinkles here and there that we should not be seeing in a game like this, but that we may see maybe late in the game down the road.
The last few minutes of some of the practices I've attended are very fun, and it's always kind of fun, too, to end a practice maybe after you've slugged it out a while with some fun memories on those plays, but I'm looking forward to seeing them as the season goes on. The give that time is to Ty Sheets, who powers for 6 yards and a first down.
I can tell you from experience, talking about those gadget plays and onside kicks and things like that, you don't practice those. You have limited practice time, and unless you intentionally make some time, sometime in the week, and as you say, Jared, the kids love it, but you're going to need one of those plays, and odds are it's going to be in a pretty important game to you. And for it to work, you had to have spent some time practicing it. So you have to intentionally carve out time to practice a hook and ladder or a double reverse or even the onside kick in order to have the kids know exactly what they need to do when that time comes.
Could be the last play of the quarter if they get it off, and they don't. They miss it by about half a second. Tried to snap the ball, and the horn sounded first. So 3 quarters are in the books from Wolverine Field in Week 1 football. On the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard, it's Cody 49, Riverton 7. Let's take a timeout. We're back right after this on County10.com and 105.1 Jack FM.
At Eyes on Fremont, we know that good vision is about more than just seeing clearly. That's why we're dedicated to providing expert eye care for the whole family. From children's exams to contacts, LASIK to glaucoma treatment, we're here to help. We accept most insurance plans, and our experienced team will make sure you feel right at home. Schedule an appointment today at 111 South Broadway in Riverton, or give us a call at 307-856-9000. Visit WyomingEyes.net to learn more.
See Allison at lunch today? I'm gonna text her. I'm gonna text Allison. Hey, hold up, Matt's calling me. Hey, we got the food and we're on our way right now. Hey, who's coming, bro? What did he tell?
Broadcasting across the Rendezvous City, Riverton football is on 105.1 Jack FM.
Welcome me back here to Wolverine Field. I'm Jared Anderson, joined alongside Scott Fuller. Jason Peterson is our camera operator. Glad to have you here. The perfect power stream. And as we start the fourth quarter, the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard indicates Cody 49, Riverton 7. Second-ranked Bronx came out and scored early in the second half and really set the tone. Gattenbein is ready to go and almost throws an interception. Did he pick it? I think he did. That is going to be an interception. I thought for a second it hit the ground.
I did too.
Gattenbein threw it more or less
by Peterson.
into the line of scrimmage, but it was Owen Peterson who was there for the interception. Owen Peterson take it away for Cody at the 42-yard line, and not the start that Blake Gattenbein was hoping for here to start the final quarter of the game.
Let's see if I can slow this down here on the Gambles replay and see if we can see a bounce. I can't tell from here or not. It was awful close.
11:48 to play in the ball game now, and Cody takes over in great shape at the Wolverine 42-yard line. Maddox Ball, starting quarterback, in the shotgun. Looks to throw, looking to his right, airs it out, and it's incomplete over the head of his intended target way over there. Well defended.
Boy, that was a great throw. This is effortless in the pocket as he lets this go. He barely takes a step forward. It's all upper body. That was a beautiful throw.
That was Jason Jarrett he was looking for. Ty Sheets was there defensively. Impressed with just the way Maddox Ball looks at quarterback there. Well composed. Give it to McCartan, who gets a first down and maybe one more. McCartan squirts away for 11 yards, and it moves the sticks. Grady's sixth run of the night, which it feels like he's had a lot more, but he's got 155 yards on those 6 carries. Pitch it out to McCartan again, dances around, makes a couple of guys miss, and Grady's going to pick up 2 on the play, which is by far his shortest run of the night.
Talk about Maddox Ball. He's got the size, too. And effortless throwing motion. He can step up. He's fast. He's big, tough to bring down. Put him with an offense like what the Kansas Jayhawks are doing these days, something like that. He would fit in really well.
I am not a scout, but I believe he has a bright future just the way he looks from that position. And one more year to go here in high school. He's going to run it himself to the left side. Gains 5 before he's drugged down by Sheets, and it's going to bring up 3rd and short. Give it to McCartan. Good stutter at the line of scrimmage. Patiently waits for the hole to open up, and he's got 5 maybe on 3rd down, and it will be another first down for the Cody Broncs.
With the tackle.
Quickly to the line, Maddox Ball flips it out to a man in motion who makes one miss, gets past the first down marker. That's Jacob Ball, who went in motion and picks up 12 very quickly as Cody continues their march, and that'll set up a 1st and goal.
There's so much with this offense you have to worry about. I really don't know how you comprehensively game plan for this defensively.
Ball to McCartan. McCartan looks for a little bit of space. Looked like the ball came out for a moment. It's gathered in by a Cody player who takes it across the line of scrimmage and scores.
What in the world just happened?
That is a great question. I can't wait to see the Gambles replay.
Gambles replay, you see a clear fumble.
Recovers the fumble.
And it just happened to bounce. You see that one more time. It just happened to bounce to a friendly spot from the Cody perspective. Bizarre.
Moss on for the extra point, trying to put his team up 56-7. And as painful as it is to say as a Wolverine broadcaster, that would force a running clock, I believe, as Moss knocks it through. So with 9:28 to play in the ball game, it's Cody 56, Riverton 7. The Bailey Tire and Auto postgame show coming up at the conclusion of this one. Thanks to Bailey's for making it the broadcast possible. Of course, 4 great pit stop locations, 3 of them right here in Riverton, and the Speedway Cafe. They're also your local tire experts. Can't help but notice across the way, and I know you probably can't see it on the stream right now, but man, that is a full moon.
Beautiful.
And take a step outside from wherever you are. That's worth viewing this evening.
Well, I was told by my son that it was a new moon yesterday, whatever that means. And so this is not quite a brand new moon, but this is the day after the new moon, I guess.
Okay.
Still very...
It's a day old moon.
I don't know. It's big and round.
It does look really cool from our perspective with some cloud coverage.
Yeah, if you're driving around town, or if you can step outside, maybe take some outside lawn chair time and enjoy the moonrise.
Sheets and Macintosh back deep. Chrysler has been busy with kickoff duty. Bounces at the 10-yard line and will go into the end zone. So be first and 10 Wolverines from their own 20, still with 9:28 to play. And I think we may see the running clock go into effect here as the Wolverines start their possession.
That is our understanding of 45 points, which we have surpassed in a difference margin. So if that is correct, the clock will only stop on timeouts, change of possession, scoring play.
I think you see the official trying to maybe signal that to start the clock. They do on first down.
Clock is not running at all at the moment.
Gettenbein wants to throw. It's intercepted, taken away by a Cody defender who brings it back to the 15-yard line, and there he is again, Jerem Beardall. Beardall has made a number of plays defensively tonight from his DB position, a ton of big hits, and another one to his stat category, an interception right there.
See it here on the Gambles replay. This is the first really bad read that I've seen the sophomore make in 2 games. And when he sees that on film, he will understand why, and he will learn from that. That was a lurking corner that was either they're sitting there in the cover 2, or he might have been man-to-man on the slot receiver and just saw where that play was going and made a nice adjustment. Tough to tell, but that honestly, Jared, that is... if you're going to have a sophomore quarterback throw a pick that he's going to learn from, you may as well have it thrown in a 56-10 game and not a closer contest down the road.
Give a thank you to Wyoming 4x4, wishing all of our Fremont County athletes good luck. Wyoming 4x4, located north of Riverton, your one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from lifts to bumpers and bedliners. Give them a call at 857-3175. And thank you to our friend, State Farm agent Tyler Watson, proud supporter of Wolverine Athletics. At State Farm, they're ready to protect your future. Call Tyler at 856-4118, 856-4118. And speaking of Tyler, we will select our Tyler Watson State Farm Player of the Game during the Bailey Tyranado Postgame show coming up. It'll be Cody football with 8:34 to play in the ball game now after the interception from the Wolverines 16. And tough to tell by the scoreboard, but some interesting competitive moments in the first half, and now it's kind of unraveled in favor of the Bronx. Maddox Ball will take the designed quarterback keeper.
If we're able to get Coach Leonard up here after the game as part of the Bailey's postgame show, curious about his thoughts on this. As you say, Jared, definitely some good things to take away defensively and offensively, but it's not going to be good enough at this point, I'm sure, for Coach.
And off to Owen Peterson, who is met at the line of scrimmage.
Running time is now under 8 minutes. We're still seeing Cody with their hurry up, and I don't think that's an effort to score more points and pile on here, Jared. That's just their system. That's just the way they run their offense.
Yeah, it's almost goes against everything they know to slow it down here late in the ball game. I almost think we may have a new quarterback out there this time.
Schultz's pass is complete.
To, I believe,
to number 24, Trotter.
I think that's Ben Hogan, who has entered the game.
Ben Hogan, huh? Wonder if he golfs.
Actually, that is Landon Schultz. I had Ben Hogan as my backup quarterback on the roster, but Landon Schultz, it looks like, is wearing number 17, and that is who the quarterback is. Schultz pass over the head of his intended target, incomplete, and it'll bring up second down. Clock is running no matter what here with the 48-point differential. Schultz in the shotgun. Give it to Peterson, who's met near the line of scrimmage.
With the carry.
Like to see defense stepping up and making plays late in this game, which has obviously gotten out of hand with running time. But that's one of Coach Leonard's axioms, it seems like. Jared, he's mentioned it to you a bunch. 48 minutes of competitive football. No matter what the score is, no matter what the situation is, just go out there and compete.
Daniel Clausen in on the Wolverine tackle. Schultz looking to his right side. Couldn't quite connect with Peterson, who was open out of the backfield. Tried to lob it to him and couldn't make that completion. So 4th down and 4. And we'll see what Cody opts to do here. Looks like they're going to keep their offense out there and go for this with 5:38 to play, clock running. Schultz looking to his right once again, airs it out to the end zone. It's caught, but in the very back of the end zone and out of bounds, so it'll be Riverton football on downs.
This ball's going to come out quicker. This is a catch and throw it. This is one where you don't even find the laces. You turn around and throw it, and if that's delivered a little bit quicker, it might have a better chance, but there's a 4th down stop by the Riverton defense. Granted, against some backups here for the Bronx, but again, keep competing until the clock says 0, which it will at this rate in 5 minutes and 15 seconds of running time.
Cody put up 56 points last week against the Lander Tigers. It was 56-2 the final score. So very consistent offensive production. Gattenbein will hand to Jordan May.
May with the run.
Good run on 1st down for Jordan May, who breaks it out to about the 14-yard line. And that
with the tackle
is almost enough for a 1st down, but a 9-yard gain for Jordan May.
The Riverton passing game is nearly in mid-season form, and it really was. Through the Powell game, you got the feeling this passing game is put together. I am very much looking forward to that running game with Jordan May and the offensive line getting better as the season goes on, because that is key to the rest of their offensive success.
Not DeVries. First time I've called Gattenbein DeVries. Gattenbein under center. Give it to May. Met at the line of scrimmage. May have picked up a yard and just enough for a 1st down. We'll see where they put it down. Now the official says yes, that is a 1st down.
Siebert with the tackle. Result of play is a 1st down.
Inside of 4 minutes to play, and Cody largely dominating this one 56-7. Only Wolverine score came late in the second quarter. It was a 11-yard Gattenbein pass to Ty Sheets. They'll pitch it to Sheets in the backfield. Tries to use his blockers in front. Turned it into a positive gain across the 20-yard line down to the 23. And a 1st down pickup of 7 for Ty Sheets. Ty's had a couple of nice runs in this game. He has unofficially caught 7 passes for 69 yards and ran 4 times for 19 yards.
I mean, the Wolverines do have those weapons. I think we haven't seen it yet. I don't believe in either game, but McIntosh is a guy that you can use out of the backfield as well. We saw him maybe in the screen game last game, but especially in this day and age of offensive football, you want guys to be able to do everything. It just allows you more options, more ways to attack a defense.
Blake fake the give this time. Setting up to throw. Has a receiver caught. That's going to be a first down. Check who that is. Is that McIntosh? It is. Nick McIntosh out to the 33 and a completion of 8 yards.
McIntosh, again, I've said this before in the broadcast, he has such a great eye for where the hole in the zone is. And Gattenbein, I want to give him credit here for waiting for the go route to clear out the top of the defense. He and McIntosh were on the same page. They were waiting for the same hole to open up in the zone. It finally did.
Riverton High School drum line making some noise. Flare it out to Ty Sheets on the right side. Has some blockers in front. Tackled up high, nicely pursued by Peyton Pluhar. But Sheets picks up a gain of 7.
Receivers notoriously just throughout football don't like to block. But this is this is an exciting play potential that Riverton has called quite a bit in both 0 week and here against Cody tonight. And as those receivers expand their skill set in blocking, that play could be a big one for the Wolverines.
Gattenbein looking deep. Throws it out of bounds. Incomplete. Wanted Nick McIntosh down the right sideline. Well defended by a couple of Broncs, and even if it wasn't, I don't think Nick could have pulled that one in.
You be the ref at home here on the Gambles replay. Some fans in front of us here wanting some PI, but that I'm going to say is a good no call. And as you indicated, Jared, that argument can be made that was not catchable anyway.
Wyoming Cowboy football will kick off for the first time this year against Texas Tech tomorrow. You can catch that game over on our sister station, KOVE. I believe that's a 5:30 kickoff, 4 o'clock broadcast time. Good catch by Ty Sheets that time, who has another Wolverine first down in the final seconds. That was a gain of 14, Gattenbein to Ty Sheets. And with 30 seconds to go in the game, some more positive production, and Riverton gets to practice maybe 1 or 2 more plays here as we tick down to the end of the game. Gattenbein airs it out to McIntosh, who's there, catches it at the 20 and is drugged down with 15 seconds. See if the Wolverines can get on the ball and maybe spike it and have one opportunity at the end zone.
It with a running clock.
2 seconds, 1 second.
They got it off.
Do not, according to the officials. That is the final score. The Cody Broncs 56, the Riverton Wolverines 7. Cody prevails to 2-0 to start the year unofficially, I guess. Officially, if you look at the standings, they're 1-0 since 0 week doesn't really count. But the Wolverines drop to 0-2 if you count that 0 week game, 0-1 in the official standings. And not at all what you want to see on the scoreboard if you're a Wolverine fan, but I thought there were some glimpses of a few positives to take away from Riverton. And overall, Scott, just a very, very good, dominant Cody team.
Yeah, I mean, no one likes to lose 56-7, but you really have to give a whole lot of credit for where Cody is at as a program. And there's, again, as we've been talking about, I'm sure Riverton fans are sick of hearing about this number 2 team in the state. But anyone that loves football and loves high school football and has played or is involved in it in any way knows how difficult it is to build what the Cody Broncs have built over the last few seasons. And you just give them all the credit in the world. It's tough. I mean, there's no team that you're going to play that makes this final score really a whole lot more palatable when you've been out there fighting for the entire game. And Riverton starters, some of the big names were out there for the entire game, giving it their all. But there are moments with some tactful coaching that they can point to and say, you know, if you make this play right here, it's not 28-7, it's 28-14 at halftime. And there were times when, I mean, we're not there yet. The Wolverines are not there yet where they're going to hang with the Cody Broncs. But the point is, can we be almost there next year? And 2 years after that, can we be, you know, right there with a team that's ranked top 5 in the state? And both of these final scores, especially today, very discouraging. It's just not going to look great on paper. it's going to look like, well, there you go, Cody again, and Riverton scoring 7 points. But if you go watch the YouTube stream and us seeing the broadcast, the game right here, as we're calling the broadcast, there are those moments. And I know Coach Leonard, if he has some time for us with you, Jared, in the postgame show, is not going to hang his hat on any kind of moral victories. He knows how much work is still in front of him here with this program. But as a fan, I think we do get to claim a few moral victories here and there. And really what you're looking for is the trajectory of the team. You know, which direction are we going? And for the first 2 games here at home in Riverton, I think, are we better than we've been? I think the answer is yeah.
Unofficially over 500 yards of total offense for Cody. I've got him at 520, so somewhere in that neighborhood. But like you said, I think you're starting to see the trajectory of what could be for Riverton High School football, and we hope that continues. Coming up on the Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show, we'll bring you some scores from around the states. We'll try to run down some 3A scores and some Fremont County scores of interest. Also, as Scott mentioned, Coach Mark Lenhart, we're hoping to have up here before we sign off on the broadcast this evening, and we'll take a look at what's coming up next for Riverton. I think things get a little more interesting next week with a trip to Evanston, so we'll talk a little bit more about that. Once again, the final score, the Cody Broncs 56, the Riverton Wolverines 7. Back with the Bailey Tire and Auto postgame show after this on County 10 and 105.1 Jack FM.
Perfect Power is a proud supporter of athletics and student athletes all across Fremont County. Perfect Power provides services for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. Darren Hubble, owner and master electrician, has over 30 years of electrical experience. Darren's trustworthy team of professionals can get the job done right. Perfect Power, serving Fremont County and surrounding areas. Stop into 1320 West Main Street, Lander, or give them a call at 307-332-7184.
Tires, and more tires. Bailey Tire and Auto Service offers a huge selection, great prices, and fantastic service.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, this is Haley. With over 13,000 tires to choose, Bailey has tires for your ATV, farm implement, car, truck, trailer, semi, lawnmower, wheelbarrow, you name it. If it has a tire, Bailey Tire and Auto Service can fix it or replace it. Bailey Tire and Auto Service is your one-stop complete tire and service shop. Just remember, with Bailey's, there's no tricks, just tires.
Get ready to explore Wyoming's stunning parks at Fremont Motors during the Open Road Sales Event. We're giving away a complimentary Wyoming State Parks pass with every vehicle sold, so you can get out and explore our beautiful state behind the wheel of a brand new vehicle. Plus, all Fremont vehicles come back by Fremont Care, so you'll be covered no matter what the Open Road has in store. Visit Fremont Chevrolet GMC in Riverton, or shop online anytime at FremontMotors.com and start your Wyoming adventure today.
I'm John Shade, your Edward Jones financial advisor. Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement of our young athletes from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of the Lander Tigers on KOVE. Call John Shade or stop by my office at 824 West Main Street for all your investment needs. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member.
Broadcasting across the Rendezvous City, Riverton football is on 105.1 Jack FM. Back to the ball game. Here are Scott Fuller and Jared Anderson.
Back to the Bailey Tire and Auto postgame show. In fact, as we wrap it up here from Wolverine Field, Riverton falls to a very tough Cody Broncs team, 56-7. The exact same scoring total Cody had last week against Lander, game they won 56-2. And a joyous Cody Broncs celebration happening in front of us on Wolverine Field. It's a lot more somber over on the Riverton side of things. A lot to take away, and I thought all things considered, a backup quarterback coming into this ball game.
Yes.
You got to give Blake Gattenbein a lot of credit, who held his own, and it may not necessarily see it on the scoreboard if that's all you look at, but some glimpses of moments that were positive for the Wolverines. A little later in the postgame show, we'll select our Tyler Watson State Farm player of the game. Hopefully visit with the head coach as well, as he's still addressing his kids down at field level right now, and he's got some other media responsibilities right after this, but we'll hang out here for a little while and wait till they turn out the lights on us, basically, and sign off. But next week, Scott Fuller, we've got a trip to Evanston, a 4-hour drive where we get to who's buying road trip snacks? That's what I want to know.
You and I have not done that in a long time. we have back in the day, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that.
I think Jason just volunteered to buy snacks, so I like that a lot.
We're not going to have Jason buy anything. Thanks to Jason for running the camera for the last 2 broadcasts and all the games, but he's a crazy guy like us, and that he would rather be nowhere else in the world on a Friday night. And it is fun to be under the lights. Obviously not the outcome that the Wolverines were hoping for, but we talk about the trajectory and we talk about the genuine improvements that you can look at on the field, the intangibles that Riverton is putting forward, and it's just not going to happen overnight. And I know that's cliche, but it's absolutely the truth. To build something even close to what Cody has built there on the far sideline, getting back on the bus for the drive home with 115 players on the roster, and so much talent who aren't even seniors yet. I mean, that offense is just scary good. That Star Valley game is going to be interesting, Jared. If Cody is not going to get outshot in that game, that's for sure. Their defense, I think, is a little bit susceptible, but that's something you talk about. The sophomore quarterback, Blake Gettenbein, as a high school coach of quarterbacks for several years. There's a lot of potential there. You saw some sophomore stuff, but as I indicated during the broadcast, there are plenty of teams that just don't have that kind of depth at quarterback, especially when you have to go down to a sophomore. And he made one misread, one real bad read that I saw in the first 2 games, and that's it. And just a couple of technique things I think he can work on. But he is going to remember this game for the rest of his high school career, because this is going to be a game that he got to face a really good defense, and he got to make some good plays here and there against one of the best teams in the state.
Yeah, he really did. If it's any indication, the style of Star Valley play, they held Cody in the state championship game last year to just 7 points, winning that 14-7, which is hard to do. And I know it's a new team this year, but you get the idea of Cody watching them right there and what they like to do. So, and again, not to be a bummer, that Star Valley team coming up in 2 weeks on the Riverton side of things too. And that's the first thing Coach Lenhart said when he came up last week is, we got Powell, we got Cody, we got Star Valley to start the year. That is a brutal start to the schedule, but knock them out of the way early, and there's definitely some winnable games, I think, this season for the Wolverines. Take a look at some of the scores of interest while we await Coach Lenhart. Yesterday there was a Fremont County team, the Shoshone Wranglers, that took on the Pine Bluffs Hornets. That was a rematch from last year's 1A9-man championship game. Pine Bluffs knocked off the Wranglers again, 36-12, the final score yesterday. Some scores of interest from tonight. Let's start in 3A with games of interest. Last report Wyo Preps had at halftime was Douglas leading Jackson 28-6. It was a tight game all the way through. Defensive slugfest, it looked like, in Lander tonight, but ultimately Green River knocked off Lander 15-14. Looked like a late Wolves touchdown as Green River picks up their first win on the season. And then how about this final? We saw Powell last week. Powell rolls over Worland 51-0. A couple other scores of interest. Let's find some 4A scores. Defending state champion Cheyenne East team had on paper at least a good matchup with number 3 Natrona, but the Thunderbirds just rallied 45-7. East over Natrona was number 2 Sheridan all over Cheyenne South 69-3. Number 4 Thunder Basin beat Rock Springs 49-14. Also 4A scores of interest. Number 5 Cheyenne Central knocked off Kelly Walsh 38-6, and Campbell County shut out Laramie 45-0. This is a lengthy post-game speech happening with Coach Lenhart down on the field. We hope to be joined by him momentarily and maybe ask him about what is the week of practice looking like for the Wolverines and what does he expect from the first road trip.
So, to that point, Jared, when you walk off the field and into the locker room, some kids will take it with them until like Wednesday of next week, and you have to guard against that. But some are easier to move on. what you have when the team is on the field in the moment after a loss with a score like that is everybody in that moment. So whatever you want to address with them, where you want that to associate with this feeling that they have right now, that's an opportunity that you should take as a coach, and just like I think you would with a victory, and say, drink this in. This hurts. This is what we're trying to fix.
We have a kind of dilemma, I think, on our Tyler Watson State Farm Player of the Game, which is coming up here momentarily, because last week we selected Blake Gattenbein as our Player of the Game, which I don't necessarily want to mean he's out of the running. However, it would be nice to not go 2 for 2 and select the same kid.
True, and maybe we should deliberate off the air. But I'm pretty comfortable with Sheets in this game. There are a couple of guys who are going to be given that Tyler Watson State Farm Player of the Game award. They're going to be up for it pretty much every week. There are just a couple of standout players offensively, especially. But Sheets, then again, I like McIntosh, but he's another guy that is going to be very present in the Riverton offense. But McIntosh getting hit on a route that was deep in the secondary and dropping the ball, he had similar contact contested catches in the game after that, and he didn't drop another ball after that. And that's just he's a fun player to watch. He can be used, I think, in ways that Riverton has not used him yet in their offense. And Sheets just making a couple of incredible pass receptions throughout the game here as well. So I don't know which way you're leaning. Maybe we should defer to Jason.
Well, I feel like you just ruined my tease there, because that's who I was going to go to.
You were going to go with Sheets?
Yeah, I thought Ty had a great ball game, and he also had some really nice plays running the football. Unofficially had him 9 catches, 90 yards, but then ran the ball 4 times for 19 yards. So we'll just let the cat right out of the bag and not hold our audience to a break or anything. No, I'm kidding. I agree with you 100%. Ty Sheets, I think, is our Tyler Watson State Farm Player of the Game, but also give credit to Blake Gattenbein, who comes in not an easy position to start his first varsity game. Have him going 20 of 30 for 182 yards. Did throw those 2 interceptions, but threw a touchdown pass. Nick McIntosh, big moments again tonight. 7 catches, 58 yards. And Jordan May, the junior running back, I thought was also impressive and grinded out yards when you needed them. Had 14 carries for 41 yards. So want to thank Tyler Watson, our State Farm Player of the Game. Why don't we take a quick timeout? We'll be back in seconds with the head coach of the Wolverines, Mark Lenhart.
Perfect Power is a proud supporter of athletics and student athletes all across Fremont County. Perfect Power provides services for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. Darren Hubble, owner and master electrician, has over 30 years of electrical experience. Darren's trustworthy team of professionals can get the job done right. Perfect Power, serving Fremont County and surrounding areas. Stop into 1320 West Main Street, Lander, or give them a call at 307-332-7184.
The Bailey Tire and Auto postgame show continues here from Wolverine Field. Cody knocks off Riverton 56-7 in week 1 of the high school football season. We're joined by the head coach of the Wolverines, Mark Lenhart. And Coach, first of all, man, I don't know what else to say except Cody is a really good, well put together team.
Yeah, no, I thought our guys fought hard early. We got a couple stops. We did some good things, but man, there's speed across the board. I mean, offensively, it felt like we had some things there, and they just close on things so well. They did a good job coaching. They saw some of the ways we attacked last week, and it forced us to have to make adjustments. And with Blake kind of making his first real start, where I know he played once last year. I mean, they forced you to make some adjustments on the fly, and I just think we weren't really prepared for that quite yet, And so, we worked our slot quite a bit last week, and so the corner was coming off on the slot quite a bit, making plays. We wanted to try and hit some of the stuff on the outside a little bit more, and those are just things that are like a little higher level, right? That we're looking at our first read and not quite getting to our second, but and I think you got to give their kids a lot of credit. I mean, Ty and Nick got jammed pretty well at times. We didn't get out. They got their hands on our receivers quite a bit, and so that was one thing that was bad. But I think some positives were we ran the football better this week. And I thought that was an improvement, and we did some good things there, and. I think we just got to keep focused on trying to get better week in and week out, because that's a good football team right there. I've been coaching 4A for the last 4 years, and I can tell you that's a top 5 football team in 4A. And I know the 4A guys might not want to hear that, but that's the reality of it. They wear you down with their tempo. They're deep. They're fast. They play a lot of good football up there. So
that settles some of the speculation that we were making during the broadcast, actually, about how good would this team be in 4A. Defensively, you have to come into this game with some kind of a game plan. How much of that did you see, and what do you think you can take away from this on the defensive side? I thought they came out, the defense in the first half versus last week came out put together and ready to go. A lot of good pursuit there. But how much of that did you see, and what are you going to point to on the defensive side to kind of improve on?
I thought first half, defensively, we give up one long run and then a drive at the end of the half where, you look and their kicker's kicking it to the 20 all night. So the thought is play soft and give them as many hitches and short throws as they want, make them kick a field goal. And, we're playing a soft cover 2, and our corner doesn't carry on the first one. They throw a post wheel and get beat. And then on the touchdown, there's just no excuse. Our safety didn't get over the top. He's got help inside. There's absolutely zero reason he should be chasing anything in, and we're just not fast enough in that spot to get to the corner. So, those are things that we just got to we got to fix, and that's situational football, and that falls on the coaches as much as the players. We got to do a better job of getting them prepared for those situations. But, I thought that was the backbreaker. I think you go in 21-7 at halftime. We got a lot to be positive about, and that one just kind of killed us. So, we're going to evaluate the tape. We've got 2 games of game tape, and there's some changes we're going to make. We've seen guys play now, and moving forward, we got to start getting ready for some conference ball, and we'll see where we're at. I don't want to say too much before we watch the film. You never really know, but at the end of the day, we got to put 11 guys on the field who can tackle, who are capable of it. And I thought there was some good in that regard tonight, but I don't feel like, they run those bubbles out there to the outside. They get you one-on-one. You got to get the guy on the ground. We can't play with 12, and so fundamentally, we will get better when we get physically stronger. And that's what I've been saying. Like, when we're not physically strong, it's hard to wrap up. You don't have a strong core. We're not, getting guys to the ground. There has to be there's got to be a change in that way, and it's going to take a little while.
I thought you should be real proud of Blake, and I'm sure you are, but coming into a situation like that, he played very well. And then what I also thought was cool was every time I glanced down, I saw Derek right there alongside him in the huddle, keeping an eye on things. I thought that was a great showing of camaraderie.
It was, and Blake's going to learn a lot from this. This is he's going to learn that the varsity clock speeds up. You can't be indecisive on your reads. And the only way to do that is get out and play. And so I think Blake filled in, did a nice job. But we got beat up physically on the perimeter. We couldn't block very well on our screens. Their pursuit is good. We don't really have tight ends, so we kind of brought our receivers down to help block the edge on some of those runs, and they couldn't. And it's nothing against them. It's just we're a little short personnel for certain things, and I don't think we can live in the world of throwing it 40, 50 times a game. So we tried to put an emphasis on running the football a little bit better this week, and we did that. But we got to get more physical at all 11 positions.
Got your first road trip of the season next week. Anything, I know you're coming off of week 1, you probably haven't thought about it yet, but anything we know about Evanston, or we're looking ahead to next week?
I know they got a great quarterback, and, he's probably a top 10 player in the statewide. We'll be interested to see what they're running with their coaching change. We'll have a couple game films on them, but hopefully we get Derek back and we're ready to roll. And I think our team needs to get out on the road. Sometimes, it's a little easier to focus when you can get them out of the way and they spend some time together. But, there was some good things tonight. There was some improvement for a half, but we got to keep working to play better and do some things in a more physical tone. But there was some improvement there. I don't want to sound negative because there was some good tackling and some good things, but in the second half we got wore down, no doubt.
All right, Coach, appreciate you coming up again. We look forward to making the trip to Evanston, and thank you again for your time.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it. Coach Mark Lenhardt, the Wolverine head man in charge there. Again, Riverton coming off of that 56-7 loss to the Cody Broncs. And Coach just mentioned it there, but Scott, we're looking ahead to a road trip and the Evanston Red Devils next week, which should be entertaining and fun.
Yeah, a lot of unanswered questions there, as Coach indicated. I also liked what he said about getting the team out on a long road trip. It's a nice 4-hour drive, probably longer on a bus, and maybe a better chance to focus away from some of the distractions of school and the home crowd. It's always great to play at home in front of your friends and family and fans, but you're going to have to do that during the course of a season. You're going to have to come together as a team away from home, and it's again tough to lose 56-7. Nobody likes the final score. I don't think we're being falsely optimistic when we talk about the trajectory of this team going in the right direction, and Coach focusing on the right things and making sure that he's making the most of the players he has in the right spot. So we have a couple of losses here in 0 week, and then here against the number 2 team in the state at home, we'll hit the road. There are a few more challenges on the schedule that we know about for sure. But you're also looking forward to those games that you might be right there in the game at the end of the game, and next week could well be one of them.
Yep, definitely. Again, as of right now, it is a 6 o'clock kickoff. We know this one got shifted back an hour, but looking at a 6 o'clock kickoff next week, which means we will go on the air with our pregame coverage at about 5:30. If anything changes, we definitely will let you know, and keep you connected with all kinds of local sports content at county10.com. Check out the County 10 Sports Podcast for more. Once again, the final score in this one tonight, it was the Cody Broncs 56, the Riverton Wolverines 7. I want to thank our guy Jason Peterson, who was up running the camera. We had a little bit of rain early on, so we learned to bag and waterproof a camera, and Jason delivered you the sights outstandingly here from Wolverine Field. So really appreciate Jason's time and volunteering basically a lot of his energy to be here early and staying late with us. So thanks to Jason Peterson, and my thanks to you, Scott, as always, for coming on and providing some analysis. Also, shout out to our sports guy, Wyatt Barijka, who will have sports reports tomorrow, or I should say Monday, on the radio for you. Give him the weekend off, I guess.
I suppose.
And then Monday be back on with you. Football fans, one final note. Wyoming Cowboy football starts tomorrow as they take on Texas Tech. You can catch the Pokes all season long over on our sister station, KOVE 1330 AM, 107.7 FM. Should be fun to see how Wyoming does against another high-powered, fast offense tomorrow.
Underdogs, to say the least.
Yes.
In that game.
Yeah, should be an interesting one there, but always fun to see the start of your football season. So we'll see you next Friday. Again, final score, Cody 56, Riverton 7. For Jason and Scott, I'm Jared Anderson. Have a great rest of your evening.